collaboration can lead to enhanced research and development, technology transfer, talent acquisition, and improved employability of the graduates. The fourth objective is addressing challenges and finding out the solutions. We know it's not easy as we speak about the bridging the gap, but there will be certain challenges which by building effective partnership we can try to reduce and remove the obstacles and come to a good conclusion. We request you, or we need your help making a difference in education system happening since long and making it a little better and practical oriented education system. And lastly, we intend to emphasize the positive impact of industry-university collaboration by showcasing the societal and economical benefits that result from effective partnership, such as innovative ecosystem, job creation, and overall growth, economic growth. We seek to underscore the importance of collaboration in shaping the future of industries and education. In summary, the roundtable deliberation of CEOs on Industry 5.0 and role of universities, including NEP 2020, is a focused event with clear objectives. We aim to develop skills, foster symbiotic partnerships, explore the benefits of collaboration, address challenges, and highlight the impact of industry-university partnerships. By bringing all the CEOs and high-level deliberation and academics, we endeavor to shape the future of education and industry by leveraging collaborative efforts and preparing the workforce for transition to Industry 5.0. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward for engaging and fruitful discussion throughout the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shah, for setting the stage and enlightening us with your inspiring words. Moving forward, I would like to introduce Professor Shailesh Gandhi, the distinguished moderator of this event. Professor Gandhi is an esteemed academician and renowned industry expert known for his profound understanding of emerging trends and technologies. He is a former Dean of Programs at IIM Ahmedabad and served for more than 17 years. Presently, he is serving as the Pro-Chancellor of IIM University, Gurugram. He will skillfully guide us through this insightful discussion today. Here, I request Professor Shailesh Gandhi to take over the mic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning to all. I'm really humbled for being given this opportunity to moderate this discussion. So just to begin the discussion, as we know that the first revolution, industrial revolution, happened in 1760s, right, with the invention of steam engine and the mass production, right, Taylor's scientific view of management. It took almost 100 years before we moved from Industry 1 to Industry 2, and somewhere around 1871, the assembly line operations started. That was the highlight of Industry 2.0. It continued till 1914, and then another 50 to 60 years from Industry 2 to Industry 3 in around 1970s, where we talked about automation and IT industry. But then the journey has been so fast, right, that Industry 3 to 4 and 4 to 5 now we are talking about, from digitization to what the madam mentioned about the advanced technology and characterized by cloud computing, quantum computing, blockchains, big data, 6G, green manufacturing, etc., etc. Right now, the premise of Industry 5.0, and I'm sure all the speakers would agree, is that the human beings are going to work alongside the advanced technology and robots. And hence, we cannot undermine the importance of the human beings and the human skills, though we are talking of moving to robotics and AI and those ones. So what I'm going to do is, I'll begin with Mr. Midhun Pingili, who is Senior Director and Head of Corporate Marketing, Signity Technologies, Hyderabad. And he has very important insights to share on what are the key factors that will drive transition from Industry 4.0 to Industry 5.0. Yeah, over to Mr. Pingili.
Thank you, sir. So thanks to Dr. Harsh and Mr. Saurabh. Thanks, Mr. Shailesh. I think it's my privilege to be part of this, esteemed group, right? All the founders and CEOs of the different companies. Thanks for this opportunity. I don't know, having start is definitely a little tough thing, but okay, I think let me get the cat. So, all right. So, let's go back a little bit about Industry 4.0, right? So why did this Industry 4.0 all came out, right? So it's obviously to automate the things, right? To accelerate, right? To accelerate the things, and which results to the proper assurance of all the readiness of for the customers and all, right? So these were the three predominant things. Because of this, lot of technology has come, and software played a key role. We talked about AI, smart manufacturing, all these things. But in the process, while I did a lot of research and all, in the process, I think one of the major, while again, if you ask from the India point of view, I was also reading an article, 95%, I think, 90% of manufacturing companies are MSMEs, right? So which also needs scale, finance, and some leadership challenges, but that's a different topic. But why did we are we getting into 5.0? Maybe the European Commission, obviously Europe would be first in such things to actually nail the thing, right? One is from the human-centric point of view, right, where machines and the human have to work. So that I think sustainability 5.0 would be addressing this challenge. Is one of the major challenges, right? Second, I think the reason for the evolution is from the employment point of view, right? There's a lot of innovation which is coming up, right? So I'll put it as innovation, employment is one of the major factors. And of course, not to forget the planet. That is one of the things, though it is there for the last, over 2 decades across the globe. But, with the globalization, with everything coming up, sustainability is becoming a major, challenge. So to address these three, right? So innovation, a lot of innovation is happening, the human-centric approach, and the sustainability. These are the things which led to the Industry 5.0. Thank you.
Good. So I'll just add one more dimension and then we'll invite other participants to share their views. So now I move to Mr. Raghavendra Deshpande. Yeah. So he's Vice President Engineering, Columbia Engineering Private Limited. So sir, I would like to share your views on how power of globalization can create sustainable and socially responsible Industry 5.0 solutions.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my views on this. Just I take example of my own industry. I work for a company, Columbia Machine Engineering. Since last 20 years I am working with this. From day one I am working within engineering and R&D projects. Our company headquarters is in US, and we have our manufacturing facilities all over the world. Like we have in India, we have in Vadodara operations. In Australia, we have operation. In Poland, US is there, the headquarters. We have in Brazil, we have in New Zealand. So all these people are working in different time zones, different locations, different continents. But we do collaboration with here. For example, our own example, if I want to tell you, I do design in India. The Brazil guy manufactures, the US guy sells, and the machine goes to Australia. This is how it works. And for that, the most important when we go for the Industry 5.0, here it is more of a human-centric approach. And thing is, okay, we have robots, we have robotics, big data. IoT is a big thing which is happening in the industry nowadays. And we sitting here in India, in Vadodara, we handle the machines, we correct the machines, we do all the things in Brazil, in Australia, in New Zealand, we do all those things here. And while doing this, even, whatever we do it in machines and other things, it's all machineries and technology. But human touch is always there for this because each country, as my own example I am telling you, each country, the cultural differences between India and Australia and New Zealand, even US, Brazil, everything is different. To collaborate with all these things and to get into in one platform. So that's why in our company we have a policy called Columbia One policy, where we have regular interactions weekly or sometimes fortnightly, and we get together and go around the think tank. I can say to some extent, even to be frank, I can tell you we have not even moved to 5.0, but we are still in middle of 4.0, but still we are looking at a stage where we can slowly but quickly progress to the next stage of the operation, where because now it is a global village, what we call. Now it is all, we can't say that India we are doing here, something is going there. No, even yesterday we had a meeting with our New Zealand people. They want the machines from Poland designed in India, manufactured in Brazil. Because whatever is the economical thing they want, even for the most of the British companies or even for US companies, we are because engineering or you can say R&D design. In olden days it was like everything will come from some European countries or US countries, and we used to do manufacturing here, but now it is changed over here. In my own company, in my department, I have a team of 20 engineers dedicated doing R&D and design for US. And we do it here, and successfully we are doing it since last 5 years. And considering all these things, I think Industry 5.0 is a good thing, and it will definitely help India because they have a demographic advantage here. We have a talent, and to get that talent come up, we should have a collaboration with the industry, with the institutes. That is the most important thing I just want to emphasize, because we have a regular collaboration between the industry and the institutes, and we can use some of our suggestions to the industry and to the institutes, and institutes can give us a feedback from their side, and like this we can move forward. That's what I think.
So now I would invite other speakers. So we have what two speakers have identified are the two most important concepts. One is human-centric presence when we talk of movement from Industry 4.0 to 5.0. And the other one is the cross-border impact of the industry, that research at one place, design at another place, manufacturing and selling at different places. So I would request other speakers, if you would like to share your thoughts on the journey and the impact of globalization, and how the organizations where you are coming from are facing and preparing yourselves for these opportunities which are being available.
Thank you for inviting us here. Yeah, thank you. I am Ajay Dubey. I am working for Hitachi Energy. Might be many of people knows Hitachi Energy, but it is basically originally ABB, which Baronians knows more better because it was known for ABB. ABB has sold about 4 years back their part of energy segment, which is we say high voltage, to Hitachi Energy, because Hitachi was engineering was having a in their profile they are having the lack of energy sector, so they purchased it and they paid to ABB very well. Definitely it is a business, and then it has gone to them. Now coming, sir, you told from segment 1, 2, 3, 4. I always say that 3.5 was also existing there, and today I say that 4.5 exists there, because 4 was more of digitalization, and when digitalization has come, many people were not understanding what is digitalization. Many people still, I feel when I talk to them, that digitalization and digitization are having big gap. So industries were trying to go for digitization, and when this digitization was going, that time it has come up that many cloud-based and other things has come up. Today I think I was reading somewhere about 20 billion persons are, equipments are, more than 20 billion are connected to the IO platform and another one. Who is going to handle that? That is the real challenge industry is seeing. And here I personally feel that where academia has to put real role, where they have to develop, because people are going to die. I will die, that is for sure. But my name is put, my parent is Ajay. But if tomorrow somebody will delete Ajay, this name who is going to carry forward, that we have to look. And that is where the industry 5 comes from me. And that 4.5 we have to build in, and then slowly move to 0.5. So this area segment where we are talking about, sir has told, many people are saying, many people are across coming out, but in India, like we are having only engineering center in Chennai, we say INOPC, we saw for full board from here, and we are 2,000 plus engineers working there. So, but technology, when we are catching out, what we are missing is sustainability, how to do carbon footprint, everybody talking, but really waste management we are doing correct way? No. We are many things, still plastic you see outside road, we talk when we are sitting in home, or sitting in our office, we talk about a lot of things on plastic waste, other, but on roadside everywhere plastic is lying there. It is very harmful for our coming generation. We are talking for generation in 0.5, it is basically 5.0 is basically talking sustainability, waste, interface of human, so many things are coming. But another from, because I am from electrical side and my industry is electrical, so I will more talk about carbon footprint, which we are today talking about. So carbon footprint has also come up. But carbon footprint, how we are going to change? Many academia is sitting here, they talk about today gas insulated switchgear. It is having what? Switching the element inside we are using is SF6 gas. Once SF6 gas at site goes, people's less knowledge, just the release. I have seen one side, when PB Chauhan was here, MD in GetCo, I was talking to him. Site people just open the gas and they just let it down, the SF6 gas in the air. That particular 1 kg air, I don't know how many people sitting is knowing, is wasting 30,000 ton of carbon dioxide equivalent. Can you imagine? So today what technology we are developing, we are working out that, I don't want to give the name of our trade is there, but we are working to remove SF6 gas. First country which is moving out from SF6 gas, might be you all have read out, is only UK. UK has made very stringent, no SF6 gas in my premises. So when we were talking about, I think industry 3, when we were moved from AIS to GIS, gas insulated switchgear, now this gas switch handling GIS itself is a very big challenge. Because if you are from air insulation to gas, you reduce every design. Now people are saying, please do not use the SF6. You please remove it. So if you are going to remove, what else gas has to come, which is having the less insulation. So that technology is moving out of that, and I feel that if we will keep on working, so human has to work, because if I talk, I will take maybe more than 2 hours, I don't want to pull more than that. So more, I think, human technology, more human resources to develop, and more skills to be developed, and without we will not skill develop, whatever is something coming out, somebody will delete, who is going to handle will be a big challenge. Many things are like that. So that's all I think I will just close with.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rakesh. I am a managing director of FAME Chemicals. We are into a construction chemical manufacturing company. We are an Indian multinational company. I will just give you a small brief of this construction chemical industry, and then I'll give you my views. Construction chemical industry world over is being led by European companies. There are a couple of companies, they have been having their operations around the globe. They are running with the technology, and they are since last more than 75 years to 100 years, they are into the globe. We, FAME, a first Indian multinational company, we have first of all developed the technology at par with European companies, and we have spread it across all the continents of the world, starting from Australia to Latin America. We have more than 20 global plants in various countries. Now here what the question sir has talked about, There are quite a few things which I would like to share upon. Is first of all the technology oriented and the development of a skill by the university and by the industry. In fact, I would like to share some of my experience that I have visited TUM University and I have given the lecture in Germany. The TUM University, as we know that it is one of the very good university for the technology, they have specifically a division for a construction chemical, and they are developing and making furthermore research and activities related to the civil engineering. Now, as we know, construction chemical industry is related to civil, but there are chemicals. So they have made a wonderful bridge between the chemical and civil, and they have come out with one separate division, which is called as polycarboxylic ether division, which is used in the civil engineering applications. In fact, I have presented the paper there, and that's how I came to know. So, such kind of talent development, if we can be in a position to do it in India, because here, what basically I personally feel that if we are talking about civil, people knows about civil, but when it comes to a construction chemical which is connected with civil, but still he doesn't know anything about civil engineering. So these was the major challenges by the industry, and by the time the students or maybe human comes into the industry, they need to learn 2 to 3 years what the things are going on in the industry, and that where it has really been a very, very painful, and you have to be another training. So what you are giving a training, and then we as the industry, again we have to give a training to them. So if some bridge can be made upon between these and something additionally in the same field, like say Sigma is running for civil engineering and also running the chemical industry also. If some merging can be done by which the skill development will be taken place, then definitely we can be in a position to move quite a strong forward. Another field I wanted to tell you, this is slightly off the top of what I am talking about. But here, what we can see in Sigma, the similar kind of courses, they should implement it in Sigma. Now what I say is that what we see in Sigma, that father and son and family, the family business. If they also start some family business category in their whatever they are presently teaching to the children, then the industry, our son, our family, they can also be a part of those kind of program, and then they can also run, because the successor is a very important thing. As today morning when I was talking to Mr. Ajay on this thing, he says I am giving it to my son. That slowly and steadily it has been pushing up. The same thing is we are also, I have a two son, I am pushing up into a business. But if there is a professionally, some exercise which has been taken by institute, and then we can send them, because today in Gujarati we say that jene potana bhai jode phag and duniya mein badha jode phag. That is what is very important to learn of that. And if that systematically cases which has been taken up, then definitely institute will definitely help us to industry in this way also. So this is what which I wanted to tell you certain few things. So thank you.
I am BG Barbat from Blue Cross. First of all, I compliment entire team of Sigma. Very well done, very well conceived program from yesterday to today. Harshbhai. My special compliments to you and your team. Today's topic is why we are here and how we can take it forward. So like Prakri Bhai has said, for the pharma, Bharat Bhai is also there, Thane is also there. We also require, maximum people where we require are under medical reps. And we have seen that the medical reps, okay, they have come out from BSc, they have come out from MSc, P.Pharm, but they are not ready material. So here the academia role makes a difference. Why? Because if I have to train them again, and if you train them in advance, the difference is my time gets saved, and whatever then I have to just polish them. So I urge you all, whenever you are having this BSc, P.Pharm and M.Pharm, one chapter or one thinking how to deal with the doctor, dealing with, and you can have doctor detailing also as one of the practical session what you can, what you should, so that whenever they go to the meet doctors, they are confident, they are courageous, and they are communicative well enough. Because I find the people, those who are from UP, Bihar, Gujarat, they lack in the, because most of the time their language is in vernacular. So when they have to have a presentation skill also. So then what happened, because in each doctor they meet, doctor can't meet more than 5 minutes. So within that 5 minutes, he has to explain everything. He has to explain about the product, he has to explain about the side effect, he has to explain about the company. If he is precise, if he is absolutely confident, doctor are tomorrow manas. So we have to, then he will, because doctors recognize him first, then the product, then the outcome. So what I suggest, the idea, the initiative, the concept is really good. And not only the, we are meeting, we have to have a regular meeting so that, my point, your point, where we have to bridge the gap. And once the gap is reduced, I have ready material. You are having that confidence, yes, you take my boy, because you are having a curriculum, you are having a campus interview, then I suggest yes, rather than taking it, go to the Sigma. These boys are absolutely perfect. So that is what my humble submission is. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Kshitij Patel. I'm the chairperson of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce as well as the co-managing partner of Manubhai and Shah Chartered Accountants. From a different perspective, I would say, from the manufacturing to the service industry, I would say that India has been reaching that level wherein it is the global service provider to the world. And being the global service provider, we need to be very careful on how we train our people and the attitude of these people. We have been into traditional practice. I would say something about our firm, that we were into traditional practice in India till the year 2000, and then we added a division for our international by going into the US, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and all other countries. So we have created an expertise of people who are tax savvy in all these countries. So the difference now in education system comes over here, that apart from the Indian tax knowledge, the person, if he has tax knowledge of other countries, accounting knowledge of other countries, then he will be capable of providing services from India as well. In this world, I would say, I would very much like to say that the world has become flat. There has been a book written by Thomas Friedman, and he very well describes the flat world. And the most famous saying what I always like is, geography has become history. And therefore, we being so 1.4 billion population, and with majority of the people in the age group of 30s, we have the advantage over the world in as far as the service industry goes. When I say that in the Western and the Eastern countries, I found that there is a huge problem of aging population. And aging population together with accounting profession not being a preferred one, because technology and other services are being promoted very nicely, and so accounting services are needed by everybody. Ultimately, no business can survive without accounts and finance. It is the backbone of any industry or any organization. Therefore, if the such services can be provided by us, then it will be an added advantage to us. These days, what I see is our organization has been interviewing at least 400 to 500 people on a monthly basis. But to get the qualified employees in the right perspective has become a challenge for everyone. Therefore, further, if we look at it, this challenge is also on account of growing salaries in India, more particularly in the IT sector. This has happened. And therefore, as an institute, I would recommend that if such different courses are taken up, I think I was looking through the booklet and I find that there is a BBA, the MBA, the integrated MBA. There we can take up courses like the US tax or the US accounting or accounting of different countries. Then we would have good talent with us who are trained talent. At present, we spend about 2 to 3 months training a person in our organization. So there are many organizations like us here in Baroda as well as in around India. We can absorb such talent. Secondly, the attitude and communication skills is very important when you are dealing with foreigners and you are providing services abroad. It has to be in a timely manner with the prescribed quality. Therefore, I think a supplementary training in respect of attitude of a person and communication is very important. The next thing what I have seen is dealing with Gen X. We are dealing with Gen X in this, and in that scenario, it becomes challenging. They want instant gratification, and hence our program should be made in such a manner that they are also satisfied with it. And lastly, I would always say, adopt to the change before the change is forced upon us. And I thank you for inviting me and letting me share my views. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So since I'll come back to you, sir. So since you have started with the services, I think we have a very distinguished speaker online, Sri Haribhakti sir, who is the non-executive chairman of Blue Star and also the chairman of Shailesh Haribhakti and Associate. I think this name is very well known. Sir, I met you long back in 1985 when I was part of NICMAR, National Institute of Construction Management, where we had invited. Good morning to you, sir. He has a
Good morning.
Good morning. So he has a very good thought process, and he has agreed to share with us the concept, interrelationship and impact of electricity 4.0, life 3.2, and forthcoming industry revolution. Sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, Shailesh Bhai, my namesake, and also my alumni, Shera. I used to teach at IIM Ahmedabad, 81 to 83. So it's such a delight to meet you. And Harsh Bhai, I think it is absolutely wonderful that Vadodara has this extraordinary institute, Sigma University, which is in such a forward-looking manner, thinking about industry, academia, collaboration. And I'm going to share how you can become University 6.0 at the end of my talk. But let me start with Humanity 3.0. This is an expression coined by Max Tegmark of MIT. And I was listening to a 2-hour webinar by him very recently, and he talked about the concept of carbon chauvinism. He says that we have arrogated, as the human race, the right to be the most advanced race in the universe. And so far we did not have competition. But now, look at what has happened between human life 2.0 and human life which is moving towards 3.0. We have artificial intelligence, which is the equivalent of somebody on our behalf reading all the literature available on, say, construction chemicals, which was talked about a little while ago, and giving us the insight based on what is relevant right now, instantaneously. So we've got this kind of intelligence that is getting built up. And it is absolutely a given that this intelligence is going to have to be harnessed and work in conjunction with the human intelligence. And maybe we create an even more intelligent race than us. That is the first fundamental concept of human 3.0 or humanity 3.0. The other fantastic concept is the fact that we've now been enabled to actually work on every cell in our body using CRISPR, for example. And we are in a position to up-validate or upgrade almost every cell in a way that can make us healthy, for example, for a very, very long time. I was recently in a group of 400 people, and people were asked, how many of you believe you can live to 120? And I was shocked that about 75% of the people present there thought that they could. Because of the advances of science and longevity, today every organ can be replaced. Every cell can be changed, upgraded. Every aspect of our brain in terms of intelligence can be changed. So let me give you the final thought, which will define human 3.0. A brain-internet interface, which will capture online, real-time, and continually the ability to discern the best that is available right now, and also extrapolate to what may come next, because that is critically the most important thing that we need to focus on. Now, if you combine this level of intelligence with electricity 4.0, which essentially is super ubiquitous, abundant power at less than ₹1 a unit, produced largely or entirely from renewable sources, sun, wind, biomass, bioenergy, and a little bit of all the small things that we are used to, hydro, nuclear, and whatever. But more importantly, a storage and a grid-based transference mechanism which will deliver this power wherever it is needed, whenever it is needed, in the quantity it is needed, in a completely facile manner. That is what is now being described as electricity 4.0. So how will all of this power industry 5.0? So other than everything that people have said, I'll just add 3 or 4 new notions. One is not digitization, but digital first. So a business model that is based on digital first and cloud first will be very different from the business model that we practice in Industry 4.0. So that's the first new thing that I would like to add, other than everything else that has been said. The other thing is that the entire supply chain will be fully transparent, because all the faculties that we possess as human beings will be automatically available through the entire supply chain. Blockchain, immutable, always visible, always accessible. That will define Industry 5.0. Because if that happens, then you will not be thinking about auditing. You will be thinking about making instantaneous online real-time corrections to get back on the most productive path. That is the single biggest difference that will emerge in industry at scale, at speed. But very importantly, the third S is specificity. What we'll be able to do is to make products which are tailor-made to an identified human being who wants to consume it in the scale of 1. That is the biggest delivery that we can make from Industry 5.0. And that can happen only when the super healthy, super intelligent human being uses renewable power to drive all the changes which are exemplified by AI, ML, big data, analytics, IoT. All of these are connectors. They bring all of this. The last thing I'd like to say is what India has done is remarkable. We have created digital public infrastructure at scale, which the whole world is standing up and saluting. The world cannot believe that our UPI can become the means by which we can transfer resources from anywhere to anywhere and at almost very, very little cost. And the whole idea of digitizing everything, what digitization does is one simple thing. It clarifies and it enables you to interact and work with the variables. Now with that in place, every company, including Blue Star, which I have the signal honor to be non-executive chairman of, is creating vertical digital products, private products, on this digital public infrastructure that we now have. And that is defining digital first, cloud first, completely automated, robotic process driven Industry 5.0. How will this make Sigma University 6.0? You need to do only 3 things. 1, make sure that your students have access to all the lighthouses of India. And now there are multiple lighthouses strewn across the length and breadth of the country. Tata, almost every factory is an example. The Mahindra factories are examples. The Blue Star factory that we are building in Free City, which will be inaugurated this year, is a lighthouse, Industry 5.0 factory, completely digital first, cloud first, with digital twinning and with all of the modern technology, blockchain, IoT, everything enabled. So give your students a chance to go visit this and understand firsthand. 2, take up small research projects which will completely dramatically alter the way a student thinks. Encourage people to write. Make sure that they go out and publish. Wherever. There is a whole array of places where they can publish. And finally, make sure that your student community gets a chance to exhibit their learning in global forums. Just open up the forums. Online, real-time, physical, whichever way you can, hybrid, whichever way. And you will see that Sigma University can become University 6.0. And I wish you all the best, the entire team at Sigma, to achieve this outcome from all the tech that is converging around us. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for sharing your views. So I think, sir, you wanted to say something. Yeah, please.
So just I want to add one. I think I agree with Dr. Shailesh sir. Like he said, digital first. That's an interesting concept. In fact, I should have said that because I come from a software company. I agree, sir. I think even McKinsey says that every company is a software company now, right? I mean, it has to come in the minds of the leadership that we are not selling the actual products. We are selling the software because software is actually playing the key role in generating revenue. That's it. I think I'll leave it to everyone. Sorry.
Yeah, please.
Hello. Very good morning, friends. Thanks to Sigma University, respected Shailesh Bhai, Harsh Bhai, Shreya ji, Jyosna Ben, and dignitaries present here, my industry's colleagues. I am from a pharmaceutical company. My name is Bharat Desai. I'm Chairman and Managing Director of Bharat Parenterals Limited. We are a formulation manufacturing company. I would like to give some idea about the pharma industry. Maybe someone, I would like to give some insight that what Indian pharma industry today is. We are a $55 billion domestically and in export put together industry, and we are said to be a pharmacy of the world. We are second largest in terms of volume, ninth largest in terms of value. That speaks about the competitive edge of Indian pharma industry. Every second pill is manufactured in India. Every second vaccine is also manufactured in India. We are the largest manufacturer of HIV drugs. We are the largest producer of anti-TB drugs. So this is little about Indian pharma industry. My friend Mr. Barve said about the marketing side. I would little add about the manufacturing. I will not go into the 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, but I will tell the real story about when I joined my company, which was incepted my father in 1970, and when I joined this company in 84, 85, in that era, the tablet was being manufactured, I mean, in 60s and 70s, using a manual process. It was total a manual process. There were the dyes. You have to put by spoon the powder in the cavities, and manually the punches were being put on the cavities, and the tablet was compressed. Then the next era came where it was a single stroke machine. The single stroke machine again has a bit automation with respect to the powder was filled by hopper in the cavities, it goes back, the compression punch comes down, and the tablet was compressed. That was a further advancement. Then the rotary tablet compression machine came into the picture, which is now again, it is still there with more advancement and more automation, AI, robotics in place. And now, in pharma industry, there are various issues. You must have seen the expectations of the auditors. Specifically the developed countries one. They need challenge is data integrity. Now, where we need, the education plays a vital role here. And we need support from academia here. Right from the academic stage, the student must be taught about what is the correct discipline, the working culture. And that will happen not only using the theoretical, but the practical also. Well, when the practically the person was there, he commits a mistake, and that becomes a part of data integrity. So these both, theoretical and practical, both put together, how at the time of education it is being taught to them, it will help to when they will go to the practical area, where now there's so much advancement going on. In pharma industry, there is a phenomenal changes are upcoming. And though India, we are the largest exporter, and we are feeding almost all countries globally. The expectations are very high from the industry, and big transformation is going on. But still, in India, 3.0 is also there, 4.0 is also there, and 5.0 is also there, upcoming now. But because of the fast changes coming in the regulatory design, we will have to make sure that all processes, all, I mean, the manufacturing has to be at a level, because you cannot have a same standard of quality using 3.0, 4.0 or 5.0. It has to be one, whatever it is. So this is my humble submission with you. And there are many things to share, but because of the paucity of time, I would like to add this much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, yes, sir.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Atul Gupta from PA Industries. While the lot of the things have been discussed about Industry 5.0, 4.0, I would like to touch upon the 2-3 important aspects which Hari sir also picked up. The thing is that we are in a global the competition. Geographical boundaries have vanished. So therefore, it's not only to keep ourselves, in the competitive global world, but also to be ahead in the curve. This is where I think there is a need to really see that how do we align ourselves, not only as an industry, but also how do we create an ecosystem around it, wherein we have right kind of the talent available to really push through the growing needs of the global competition where we can be there. Now the thing is, if you really see that the academia and the industry collaboration on this aspect plays a very vital role. Today, if I see that apart from the content-based study, how are we plugging it or merging it with the application-based the studies in the curriculum, I think is going to be very important thing. I was going through a video of Mr. Narayan Murthy of Infosys. I will just take 1 minute to tell you what he was talking about. 100 students were screened by the Infosys using an examination paper of 100 marks which had application-based questioning on the IT. Only 3 students qualified. 100 students again were given a question paper which was taught by their faculties. 95 students qualified. That is what the education system around us exists today. So I think the important is that whatever is happening around us, while there is a core science where the research has to happen, while there is a technology around which the research has to happen, which has practically nothing to do with the Industry 5.0. Industry 5.0 is something wherein you leverage the research and the technology along with the power of the data through digitalization and the analysis to make a decision on one click to really see where exactly you want to go and what are the opportunities for you to stay competitive in the world. This is where I think, it's something we need to really look at. How do we realign ourselves as an academia to see that, our kids, our students get that kind of orientation and, the atmosphere, around it. I can tell you, I have, opportunity to visit, Japan to our customers. I also have opportunity to go to Europe and see the things. When I go to the Japan, of course, it is true that, what has necessitated, the evolution of the technology. In these countries, the non-availability of the people resources had necessitated the need of the technology to evolve. Whether you talk about the data capturing through the sensor systems and then, putting the technology around it to analyze the data. But then the fact of the case is that if you do not put the human resources at the right place, we will become obsolete someday. And that's where it is important that we keep pace, with the emerging world, which is right now getting driven by the technology and, the Industry 5.2 and the other things. I would, recommend, we have the manufacturing units in Panoli and also in Jambusar. We have built a world-class global standard, the plant on Industry 4.0, where every data in a chemical manufacturing process and also the other business processes is digitalized without any human intervention using those platforms. Today, the operator sitting on a DCS in a DCS control room can see that what is the trajectory on which my batch is going to behave and how the reaction is progressing. So the important thing is that, while we adapt this technology, but this is an expensive one, how the academia can play a role in building the talent around which wherein this technology become affordable, whether it's electrical, electronics, communications, and creating those sensors and those kind of things. But for that, I think it is important that we move away, or rather move along, not only with the content-based, the studies, to a application-based studies, and that's where I agree with what Hari sir had said, that the Sigma University in their curriculum and in their, the planning must have these elements into the place wherein the kids should get exposure to the industry, go and visit to the industry, see how the things are being done. From there. They will evolve with the concept that, okay, exactly what exists today and how does it work. And it is from there, they can take up few research projects and, evolve as a real, the technological, the experts, and bring in a value, because they know where exactly we stand today. The thing which I see today when I interview, the chemical engineers or mechanical engineers coming even from the IITs, they are genius, I tell you. They have got a very good knowledge, but application to that knowledge still takes time. So that is where I think we, I think the academia and industry needs to really look at that. How do we, tune it up? I would also like to share, in 2 minutes, that TI Industries collaborated with DDU, Nadia, when Dr. Sailis Vasavala was there. We created a collaborated approach over there to create course content for a chemical operator. So it's not only what is being taught over there in the university, but how it is in synergy with the industry practices which an operator or which a person operating the chemical process should know. And then they coming to the plant, seeing how exactly, a 32,000 liter reactor looks like, and how the plant looks like, gives them a different perspective to what they are learning. And I think this is a very important aspect to really open up and think in a different way what exactly is there today and how you want to leverage, this skill set or this knowledge or this young chaps, to take it to the next level. So these are few thoughts, in my side, from my side, I wanted to share with you, and this is where I look forward, and rather I would invite Sigma University to collaborate with us, let the kids get exposure, how exactly, the Industry 4.0 is working, and how it can be a breeding ground for them to think forward beyond this what exists today. Thank you.
Thank you. So now, before I invite you this one, we have a very unique speaker and expert in front of us, Dr. Anusha. I think it would be good to hear from her. She is specializing in the areas of urban transformation, spaces, and habitats. So when we talk of Industry 5.0 and human interface and innovation, it is also important to look at how it is going to impact the habitats and the environment and the spaces. So we would like to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this, how it is going to impact?
So first of all, thank you very much, Mr. Saurabh Shah, Mr. Harsha. It's been a very humbling and learning experience for me sitting here. in this gathering, and I think a lot of what I will also say now will be an extension to what Mr. Haribhakti just mentioned, and I'm hoping that that this kind of takes off even with Sigma and other places, other universities in Gujarat. So I have some notes here, and I'd like to refer to them while I'm talking. So I represent a think tank here. We are a leading public policy think tank called the Observer Research Foundation. We are also, some of us who met yesterday over here, we are also the Think 20 Secretariat for India's G20 presidency, which is, you would have heard all the alphabets, U20, W20 in G20. So we are the T20 Secretariat. This is a think tank engagement group and serves as what we call the idea bank for preparing the communique for the G20 presidency that will end in September. We also hold major global convenings and programs with not just the Ministry of External Affairs but governments outside of India as well. We are also grooming the next generation of global leaders and young diplomats through programs such as the Asian Forum on Global Governance and the Raisina Forum for the Future of Diplomacy. So basically our alumni are poised to become future world leaders. These are young diplomats who will be ambassadors. I'm happy to share here that one of the key youth outreach programs that we are conducting, and which is also why very keen to partner on this, is something called the ORF Spark, where we closely work with young minds, both from schools and colleges and universities, to engage with students on age-appropriate discussions, to introduce them not only to the public policy space, because that is a discussion we felt is usually left out of academia, understanding what policy can bring to the table in terms of knowledge and exposure, but also to introduce them to the think tank culture, because that is also something that people are like, okay, think tank, karte kya hai aap? It's that kind of a thing yet. So to bring exposure to that, and again, just to set the context, over a fifth of, like a lot of people mentioned here, the world's children and youth live in India, so that's a huge constituency. India's young constitute nearly 2/3 of the country's population, moreover. So that's how vast and vibrant the constituency is, and the need to engage will determine not just the country's future, but also the future of the planet in many ways. We aim to mobilize young Indians and bring them to understand and talk about critical challenges, therefore, facing the world, and probably help them build a more equitable world by bringing attention to socio-economic, political issues that are usually integrated with, what we call Industry 5.0 at a global scale. We have reached out in the last 8 months to about 10,000 students, and these interactions are delivered by ORF experts itself. We have experts across various topics: geopolitics, geoeconomics, climate, urban, and who already also work closely with industry and governments, both Indian and international. So that's a different level of exposure and thinking that we are planning to take to the classrooms as well. And these are in various formats. So when we go to schools, we understand that we have to do this in a more skit kind of format, a more engaging. Whereas at colleges and university levels, there are workshops, or we encourage them to write. We have a young, so like he was saying, publishing, which is a very, very important aspect now, because then they get that exposure to publish what they're thinking about. So that's the whole idea about Spark. And why public policy? Like most of you would agree, that public policy obviously opens up multiple options, not just think tank, but teaching, research and development, also non-governmental organizations, and the scope is ever expanding for them to understand these issues. And this will uniquely position them to not just develop academic knowledge, but also professional skills for addressing some of the complex policy challenges that need to be addressed across the world. And thankfully for us, if we want to integrate this with policy, understanding that this is a huge demographic dividend like someone already mentioned. Our national youth policy itself articulates very specific parameters on how this dividend can actually unlock the potential of youth. NEP is another advantage that we are hoping to also bring in through this program, because this allows us to partner with universities, and I mean, you would know best how this can be integrated together. So the idea and the question again around best practices that was brought up was to develop joint partnerships, like people mentioned, taking them to actual industry sites, building relationships and establishing a culture of innovation through hackathons, through mentorship programs. That is something also that we are looking to build. And I'll just end to kind of just share a few future research agendas that we see when we think about, from the think tank side, from the policy side as well, is one is understanding the fintech system itself. Then, like everybody mentioned, disruptive technology, DPI, like he mentioned, is a huge research sector. There is space tech, ed tech, health tech. These are again some upcoming areas. Also, there's a lot of global discussion around not just green finance and green economies, but also blue economy. So that is another upcoming area, and ESG and climate finance. We're also looking at trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights. Cyber security, that's another important area that is being globally addressed. Urbanization, not just for building sustainable cities, but also through inclusion and gender. And these are going to become important discussions going forward, which I think Industry 5.0, either through circular economy or other sustainability aspects, are going to be integrated. And lastly, there's another program that we are planning to run because we saw a lot of interest in multilateral organizations that students are picking up. When we approach students to choose topics for the T20 event, they unanimously chose the idea of reforming multilateralism itself. So to look at whether the bodies like UN and WHO, and whether they're actually working or not. So basically, I think we're all heading to our youth becoming global citizens, and that's where I think we should be working towards. Thank you.
Good. So we have about 55 minutes left. So before I start on the industry, academia, and the challenges, one last point from Saurabh Bhai. And then I will throw open the discussion for the wider discussion. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Gandhi. Good morning, everyone. My name is Saurabh Shah, and I run a consulting firm in Mumbai on compliances, and we also help on cross-border transaction. I am part of the special task force under G20 B20, nominated by Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. And the topic given to us is the future of work, skilling, and mobility. So I'm so delighted to be part of this high-level roundtable, and I'd like to compliment Harsh and Sigma University for selecting the topic which all the G20 country participants are today talking about, and hosting it here in Baroda. I think it's wonderful, so my heartiest congratulations. Friends, I'd like to make my humble submission on few very specific, tangible action points. We all know there are challenges. We talk about, in theory, symbiotic partnership, industry, academia. But let us, for a few moments, I'd like to submit whether this is what we can do together. We see a lot of deliberations taking place, white papers evolving on various aspects to nurture this very important relationship. However, this requires sustainability, a consistent dialogue. When I look at the companies under Section 8 which are formed, right, which are non-profit organizations in India under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, I have yet to see a platform being built up under Section 8 which will bring industry and academia together. And a consistent dialogue in understanding each other's challenges, trying to collaborate and submit solutions. So I'll be very happy to see at a macro level, and of course, Sigma can take leadership in creating something like this. I personally feel that the time has come when we need to predict the skills which are required for future of work by using technology-driven framework. In order to do this, I think it's extremely important that we understand what is the requirement of industry, we understand what the universities have to do together to bridge this gap. I have not yet come across a consistent effort from either side where we see a dialogue, though initiated, but it being monitored to see that how it is running and how it is converting into a relationship. How many industries will be coming to universities in India with a problem statement and saying that this is a problem statement we have, can you help? But this happens in the Western countries. I have seen in a place called Jogja in Indonesia, which is considered to be an education hub of Indonesia, and even in a city like Yokohama in Japan, where industry, they have their offices in the campus, in the university campus. That is a kind of partnership that they build. Of course, this will happen, and I think we all are working and putting our efforts to do this. So one, if I may say, of course, curriculum designing, which was mentioned by my colleague also, we need to have consistent dialogue with industry to understand what is that they want the students to be taught and built into the curriculum. Second, faculty training. It's important that the universities send their faculty to industry to have maybe a 6 months, 1 year, they work as an employee in the industry to understand what is happening at the ground level, and then come back and teach that in the classrooms. Third, we are in an era where ESG, sustainability, climate action is an agenda globally, and of course we have seen the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister. I would be very happy to see a partnership between university and industry to take up a research project on setting up clusters for technology transfer in India. I think India is all about MSMEs, and we need to have this ecosystem which will help MSMEs to avail innovative green technologies from abroad at an affordable price. I think if this kind of clusters are set up, it is going to create a collaborative partnership which will help to nurture the future roadmap and, of course, a very close relationship between industry and academia. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'll come back to you, sir. Yeah, I'm going to come back to you because you are from academics. Okay, so you and Dr. Ryan. So that two speakers are going to be the next one. See, all of us are worried about the fact that whether our students are employable. And Mr. Barve also mentioned that when a medical rep comes, and how does he interact with the doctor, right? Similarly, Dr. Gupta mentioned that how a operator who walks into the factory, whether he knows what is the difference between the spherical tank and maybe the cylindrical tank to store the liquids, right? And why ammonia is stored in a spherical tank and not in this one, right? So those aspects are not there. But I think given my 20 years of academic experience, I can tell you, I think the problem lies with the professors or instructors. Mr. Saurabh sir mentioned about faculty training. How many faculty members from engineering, pharmacy, management, and commerce have any exposure of the organizations how they work? Right? We talk HR, we talk OB, we teach these subjects, but how does organization work, right? How does one motivate employees? We talk of motivation theories, we talk of leadership theories, but how does one motivate? Right? And hence, what is most important for academic institutions is to start with faculty training, because that's very, very important. And what are the various ways in which the faculty training would happen? First, he has suggested about the internship with the industry. At IIM Ahmedabad, we have a provision that if any faculty member wants to do internship in any industry, 3 months, 6 months, just go and spend time. You are from strategy area, you are from marketing area, you are from OBHR area. We have a large alumni database, and I'm sure the starting point for industry internship could be our own alumni. that our faculty members go and spend 1 week, 10 days, 15 days and understand. So if he, as he rightly said, if I'm teaching mass transfer operations or I'm teaching, let's say, chemical plant design, how does organization really employ those concepts, right? And how does it work? So it is better that whoever is teaching those kind of subjects go and spend some time, understand how it happens in the industry. Since I'm also from the domain which Kshitij Bhai and Shailesh Bhai are there, from accounting and finance area, we teach gross margin as a part of financial statement analysis. We teach EBITDA margin, but we never know who is the manager in the company who will use gross margin and for what kind of decision making. What is the importance of debt equity ratio and how does financial leverage drive return to shareholders? Now, those things are not happening because of this. So I think one of the ways to increase the faculty intensity of the industry working is the internship. The other one is the case writing. You know that IIM Ahmedabad is predominantly using a pedagogy which is case method teaching, where you teach the real life cases from the industry. Can we not do that in engineering? Can we not do that in pharmacy? Now, sir talked about the formulation process and he was talking about how it moved from cavity filling to the rotary machines, etc., right? So what is compaction? What is the mixing which is happening in a formulation, right? What is the drying process and all those things? So I think that is the second one where you can go and spend some time in the industry and do a case writing and bring those nuances into the classroom. The third one, which is not very common in engineering but very common in management, is the executive education. Conduct management development programs, invite the industry experts, organize HR conclaves, call them on the campus and let them share the best practices, have a system of visiting faculty, guest faculty who come and teach at the universities. I think in order to develop the right kind of employable skills in the students, the task begins at the faculty level. We have two experts from the education domain, and I will invite one by one. One, we have Dr. Desai. He is the president, Indian Society for Technical Education. So first I will invite Dr. Desai to share his thoughts on the industry-academia interface. And we have Dr. Ran Pereira, who is the regional officer of US-India Educational Foundation. So sir, I will invite you after Dr. Desai. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. As sir has already briefed that I'm Dr. Pratap Singh Desai, President of Indian Society for Technical Education, the oldest and largest organization working in the field of technical education. We started in 1941 and we were looking after the regulation of entire technical education till 1992 when AICT came into the picture. Faculty development was the main area where IST was working. Till today we have conducted more than 18,000 faculty development programs that are all funded faculty development programs. So we have our existence, almost more than 6,700 engineering institutions, even architecture and pharmacy institutions are our members. Right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and Arunachal Pradesh to Kutch and Gujarat. You name a district, you name a tehsil, and you will find the existence of IST there. While entering into the campus itself, I saw the breathwork of this university, that is Jnana Param Shakti. So knowledge is a power. Absolutely, we are living into the year of knowledge. It's a knowledge economy now. And knowledge is power now, and knowledge is money now. University, the main objective of any university, any education system, is to generate a knowledge. Knowledge generation has to be the motto of any education system, any university. And that we have witnessed in the past. I'm not going to into the much details, but still one must not forget the contribution of the universities like Nalanda, Takshashila, Patlipurta, Ratnagiri, of which we all Indians are proud of. The first cataract surgery, first brain surgery, first plastic surgery that was successfully conducted by Sushruta Sen Gupta 650 years before General Era. R.A. Chanakya's contribution into the mining metallurgy is commendable. Aryabhatta, though he was never a mathematician, he was astrophysicist, but his gift to the his gift of zero to the world's mathematics is remarkable. He postulated the diameter of the Earth for the first time in the history of the world, which has been recently confirmed by the NASA also. So this tradition continued till Britishers came into this country, and unfortunately, our education, they realized that they cannot conquer this country unless the education system of this country is destroyed. And here, the role was played by Macaulay and the new education system. That then education system in 1842 was implemented in India, and we are now in present education system. So what has happened now? Universities, instead of being emerging as a knowledge generators, we are generating graduates. And very responsibly speaking, on this topic, though I am heading the organization in the technical, working in the technical education, so we generate the graduates now. Universities, the majority work, 80 to 90% of the work of the university is to conduct the examination and declare the results. What research component industry takes in India is itself a subject of research. A survey was conducted onto the students studying in IITs and NITs. I am specifically mentioning it because it's a cream of a nation. 7,000 students were interviewed and only one question was asked: why you are studying in this institution? What is the motivation of your education? Why you are here? 87% of the students gave a similar answer, and the answer was to get a good job, to get a good salary. And this is if the cream of a nation thinks of a security, if a cream of a nation thinks of a job, then where is appetite left for the research? And we are talking about the Industry 5.0 now. Who will go for a research? There are two types of students, three types of students. 10% students, category A, they are wonder makers. And everywhere they are. In any tier 1 institute to tier 3 institutions, you find 10% of the students, those who have a potential capacity to make miracles. Almost 40-45% students, category 2 students, they are the digesters of the technology. They understand what has happened and they try to digest it, try to implement it. And category 3, they always wonders how wonder has happened. So here the responsibility of education system, if at all we want to bridge a gap between industry and institution, category 2 students are to be taken to the category 1 and category 2 are to be taken to the category 3 are to be taken to the category 2. Because there are two components in education system. One is research and another is education. About to create the digester to the implementers. Where here in India, we train the students, we teach the students. Professor Gupta was rightly pointing out, if our education is content-based. Our students have cracked the technique of passing the examination. Because since from their childhood, they are forced to learn through remembrance. The concept of imagination, concept of thinking is totally eradicated from the education. Once I was reading a book and I found a quote by Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin talking about the education, he said, you tell me and I will forget. You tell me I will forget, you teach me I will remember, you involve me I will learn. So we are at the second stage, teaching and students are remembering. Furthermore, Albert Einstein has said, teaching a student, making student understand a concept is not at all education. But making him implement that concept to solve the real life problem is education. And Mahatma Gandhi, was far ahead of them. He said that the person who knows how to think need not have to be taught. So we have to create the thinkers. Unless a student thinks, there will not be any education. Whatever we deliver into the classroom, whatever students read into the books, is just information. To convert that information into the knowledge, students has to think. Unless the information is thought upon, it will not get converted into the knowledge. And unless that knowledge is implemented to solve the real life problem, we will never develop a technology. So conversion of the information into the knowledge is a research which needs a lot of money. So here it's a conversion of money into the knowledge, and technology converts knowledge into the money. Unless this cycle is complete, no education system will be sustainable, and even we just cannot think of the technologies 5.0, even 6.0 will come. This cycle is to be complete. The objectives of the education system, unless the objectives of the education system and the industry, they coincide, this gap will never be bridged. Because motivation of the students, motivation of the institution needs to gather the admissions. Student needs to get an admission, pass and get a job. Industry's objectives are different. Industry and institutions are together on the paper. They are together but still not together. Their relation is like sea and seashore. They are together but still not together. I have witnessed many, I think somebody was talking about having the offices of the industry into the campus of the university. If you look into the top 10 industries of the world, majority of them have started in the campus of the university. Here, when university, the technology has to be developed into the university, education institute, and then it has to go to the industry. In our country, it is totally different. Technology comes first to the industry, then comes into the institution, and therefore the problem of the faculty development arises. Why faculty development is needed? When faculty himself or herself is capable of developing the technology, then what is the necessity of training a faculty? We have a tie-up with a company, a BMI Mellon of US, for training a faculty on artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud computing and all. They are funding us to the greater extent, and this training we are conducting with the help of it's not a training of a teacher through teacher. It's a training of a teacher through scientists and researchers. So, problem here, what we are facing is, when we invite the application, thousands of teachers apply, and when it comes to the scrutiny level, it's very hard to find 60, batch of 60. This is the situation. So when it's not with the teacher, the time is over of having a non-playing captain. So captain has to be on the ground. Teacher must be aware of the technology. There are many issues, because again we talk about the affordability of the technology in the 5.0. Mahatma Gandhi has written one book on 7 social sins. It's Sapt Samajik Aparadh. Politics without principle is a social sin. Business without ethics is a social sin. Money without cautious is a social sin. Religion without sacrifice is a social sin. Education without character is a social sin. And technology without humanity is a social sin. The technology which doesn't or which denies the access for the poor on account of affordability is a social sin. Artificial limb was developed in US, and manufacturers claim long back that a person can walk, run, jump and even play football with that, but the cost of that limb at that time was $20,000. What percentage of the population had access to that technology? To me, I think it's a social sin. A similar technology under the name of a Jaipur, which was developed in India, the cost of that is $2,000. And Nano is the same thing. When Ratan Tata was traveling in his car, he saw a family traveling on the scooter with 2 children, few bags in the rainy evening. He thought, why can't I offer a small car in the cost of a scooter? And the Nano took birth. Many such technologies are needed to be developed now. Focus of our research is on the top of the economic pyramid of the world, where only 13% of the people stay. Those who have access to the 87% of the world's wealth. Many finance people are here, they may correct me in this. 87% of the, 90% of the people, 87% of the people does not have access to the wealth. They have access just to the 10% of the wealth. 400 crore population's daily earning is less than $2. And I think we have to orient our students to develop the technologies which will serve their needs. Nelson Mandela once said that the technology is a strong tool to transform the lives of people. And if at all we want to transform the lives of the people, I feel we have to change our orientation. Focus, we have to change our focus. Change attitude of the student, attitude of the society. Parents does not want their student, their child to be an entrepreneur. Because they fear for the failure. They do not want, they want a safe game. They want a job. And therefore, this mentality has come up. Swami Vivekananda once has said that the country where the ultimate objective of the education is to get a job, such country will never produce entrepreneurs, such country will produce only slaves. And unfortunately, today, as far as the education system is concerned and our output is concerned, we are producing technical slaves. Industry and institution has to come together. Has to come together. Money is to be poured by because government cannot pour the money into the research. Industry has to pour money and believe the institutions. And the institution has to take that responsibility to deliver a good technology, good research. That's what I feel. This is a necessity. Thank you very much.
Very well.
Yeah. Dr. Pereira.
Thank you very much. I agree with a lot of what Dr. Desai said with regard to the role of the universities as a producer of knowledge and a transmitter of knowledge. But there is a third one as well, and that is the transfer of knowledge. And that is where universities have no expertise in India. And that is where the industry, which have these well-defined processes on how to transfer knowledge and how to develop it, that's where they can learn. And which brings me to what Harsh started off as one of the objectives, that this is about a symbiotic relationship. And all we've heard, a large part of what we've heard so far, is what can academia do for industry. But we haven't really spoken about what can industry do for academia. What is the shared vision about what the industry wants from a project, what the academia wants from a project? That's something to think about. The other things that the industry can do is, as Dr. Desai said, the researchers are there and in the institutes, and they can produce knowledge. But the industry can bring in the professionalism. You'll all have project managers, know how to keep things on track. Why are they not being, that information being shared with the academia? Okay. And I know you all already spoke about the need for the communications. And what I remember what one of the earlier speakers said, is bring the people from the industry to talk to them about what is expected when you come into the job force. It's not about just having the university have a course on how to communicate. You all have the experts. Share that with the universities. And one of the other things that needs to be considered is very often when you have these partnerships between industry and academia, it's always transactional. They're very short term. This is the project, do it and send it me, and then I'll take it forward. And you mentioned something that was very interesting, where you said that it's really important that people understand that it's okay to make a mistake. And so having a long-term partnership builds trust between academia and that is something that we really need to focus on as a developing country, and that is what will take us further and help us achieve 5.0. That's what I would like to say. And there are lots of other things that I can talk about the problems, but we'll get to that a little later.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So we have Dr. Montu Patel and he is the president of Pharmacy Council of India. So would like to share his thoughts. And then I'll come back to you, sir. You wanted to share your thoughts.
Dear all, at the very good afternoon. At the outset, I would like to congratulate Harshbhai for Sigma University for becoming a interface between industry and the academy. And today discussion, what is the outcome, we will decide, but I think this is a roundtable meeting is very fruitful for the pharmacy education, for the development of the new syllabus. At the Pharmacy Council of India, we are developing a new course curriculum as discussed by the all the industry, from the management, from the engineering, from the technical, from the many chemical person also there. So we are thinking the pharmacy education as per the national education policy. We are developing a new syllabus. Also, we are taking from this good suggestion from the industry, because ultimately our pharmacy students go to the industry and the community. So both are the very play a major role for skill pharmacists, because in industry now the all industry people are shouting to the or the pharmacists. There is no skill pharmacists are developed by the any university or the any education system. But whatever the syllabus we taught in throughout the year, I think that's why we became a pharmacy of the world. But now the technology changes. We are discussing the 5.0 technology ed. So we have to change our syllabus as the requirement of the industry. So we are changing our syllabus, like artificial intelligence. Also we are including soft communication skills. Also we are including in our first semester student. And at the BPharm level, we are including the master major in pharmacy. Whatever the diploma pharmacy, we are only for the community purpose. But at the BPharm and the master level, the BPharm in major, we are producing the super specialty level at the BPharm level. First you have to taught 2 years for the general pharmacy, then you have to select the specialization subject. If you go to the industry, then you have to select whatever the industry subject. If you go to the community pharmacy, then students has to select clinical part. So now the Pharmacy Council India changed as the BPharm UG level syllabus as like industry need at the community or clinical need, because in the other countries community part is very important. In India, there like you go to any medical shop, there is no patient counseling done by the any pharmacist. So there is a lack of the knowledge, lack of the communication skill, lack of the good practice of the pharmacy. So we are developing in coming syllabus all the lacking point in the new syllabus. Also we are planning to at master level. Now we are thinking, Pharmacy Council are thinking, if the master empowering pharmacists, if we are start empowering pharmacy at industry level, but means we have to give the approval to the industries, top 20, top 100 industry to teach the student for 2 years, and the degree will be given by the any university or the if we are setting a system to give the degree. But in the 2 years, the student will understand what is the industry need, what is the development in the pharma industry. So after 2 years, industry get a good skilled person for their own need, and also student get a proper knowledge at the industry level. Also they are getting a good job or good salary. Also industry can occupy in their own premises. So we are planning the future of the pharmacists. Another way, we are also set up center of excellence for producing the skills pharmacists, because nowadays the pharmacists, every year 5 lakh pharmacists are passed out from the pharmacy education. But there is no soft skill, no the instrument skill, not for the software skill. So we are planning every state one center of excellence center at the every state. And Pharmacy Council India will fund for the COE in government institution, also some private university also. Today the main focus to reduce the gap between industry and the academic. So Pharmacy Council India as a regulator, we are planning, already we are done with the MOU with the Indian Pharmaceutical Alliance, Federation of the Pharmaceutical Entrepreneurs, and Light Soft Skill Council of the Ministry of the Skill University for the training of the teacher, for the training of the student. Both we are planning how can we get a train, because as a Gujarat Pharmacy Council, I am the president of Gujarat State Pharmacy Council. When I take a charge of the president of the Gujarat Pharmacy Council, there is no training in the Gujarat of the pharmacy. Now our 65,000 minimum pharmacists are trained by the Gujarat State Pharmacy Council within 3 years by giving the two days training program. So at India level, we are planning to give the all teacher and the student for the training. We are also from the policy faculty development program as discussed by the other eminent speaker. We are giving a 1 month industry training to the teacher, and all expenses borne by the PCI. So we are also expanding this policy to all over India for training of the teachers because if we teacher understand the need of the industry, then automatically student will get a benefit by the industry. We are also planning the internship program like in diploma pharmacy there is a 3 months training as compulsory at the medical shop, government hospital. So we are done with the MOU with all India Chemist Association all over the India to train the diploma student. For the B Pharma student already we did the MOU with the KP Karnataka Pharmaceutical Drug Manufacturing Association, Indian Pharmaceutical Association. We are acquiring the database from the industry who are ready to give the training to the student or internship to the student. So we will build a platform or portal. The student can easily get a internship or easily get the training, because nowadays there is no mechanism for the there is no mechanism at the industry level, at the academic level, because some people have a reference, then they go to the industry. Some students have skills, knowledge, but they have no reference, they go to the hospital training. So we are planning to give a right person, right student to get a training at the industry level. So we will set up the mechanism for the all over India to smooth training and the internship program for the student of the BPharm as well as the diploma students. Also, we are one suggestion from the speaker cluster setup. We have to. There is a good suggestion, and Pharmacy Council India will definitely work on the cluster setup of the collaborative partnership with the industry and the academic. Also, as a regulator, Pharmacy Council India also will promote the setup. In Canada, Australia, in the dispensing of the pharmacy, the robotic system is there. In India, there is no robotic system to dispense of the medicine. So I think we have to teach our teacher as well as student, we have to develop in India robotic dispensing of the medicine in the medical shop, because also we are already knowledgeable in the industry level, because industry are pharmacy of the world as said by the Bharat Bhai. So we have to think how can we make a pharmacist of the world to India, and we have to produce more skillful pharmacists to serve the world, because our Prime Minister vision is there. They are already established the Heal by India and Heal in India. So whatever the health workers, pharmacy, nursing, doctors, lab technicians, also who are the skills person, the government developed a platform. Already the government developed the portal for the, if you have a the skill of the German language, you have to go to the Germany, then you have to register as a portal and single click, all database go to the German MNC also, as well as the German country. You have to go to Japan, but all over India, all over the world, our Prime Minister want to the borderless, international border also maybe in future maybe removed by the our Indian system. So now the Australian Pharmacy Council, even UK Pharmacy, even UK Pharmacy Council, even European Pharmacy Council are now we are doing a continuous meeting with them to how do their student come to the here and our student go to the there, and also their university also maybe in future they come to the India for the setup of their university, and our university also set up overseas for their expanding the education system. So this is the vision of the government of India. I think in future there is no border. Like a GST in India, there is no border for the any goods. You can move one state to another state. So as like in now the whatever the policy framed by the government of India, I think there is no boundary. Maybe in future for the education as well the technology as well as the industry, because whatever the sir said, the first technology come to the industry level, because India is a MSME, huge MSME sector India has. So that's why we are the low cost generic molecule producer. Also we are the whatever the engineering, pharmacy or any other chemical business. We have a more industry. What any other country there is no industry. That's why first come to the industry in India, then come to the academic level. But Indian and industry and academic collaboration is required for the technology transfer. Also, as like a government of India launching a linkage incentive scheme. We are importing 65 molecules from the China and the other country. So government of India also planning to how can we produce a low cost technology by low cost molecule for the Indian population, also for the other country. So there is a good initiative by the government of India. So what my submission is there, what is the industry need, because we are doing our teacher, student, like pharmacy, nursing, engineering, we are doing many research work, but we are not understanding what is the industry need. So first we have to narrate out the industry need, then we have to promote the research program, and whatever the grant and given by the government of India, state government, many agencies give the grant for the research, but our teacher and student only doing research in other way, and the industry are working other way. So I think we have to narrate out the whatever the industry need, pharma, engineering, we have to make a list and we have to submit the government and government of India. Only this project we have to fund the teachers and the students. That's why. Then after we will get the proper training and proper research for the development of the new technology and the system. And this is my submission for the all the today conference. And my best wishes to Sigma University for the progress. And I think this is the first seminar in all over India to conduct by the Sigma University. So my best wishes to help. Thank you.
So, Dr. Ranka, who is the chairman and managing director of Zydex Group. Yeah.
Happy to be here at Sigma campus. Good morning, everybody. Few straight suggestions of how to improve. One is the faculty and how to improve the students. The first suggestion would be encourage the faculty to go to exhibitions, commercial exhibitions. The best of the technology is exhibited there, and they must understand what the industry is promoting and bringing to the world for the first time. And that should be sort of encouraged. Number two, I would suggest that every faculty who is interested in academic relationship, with industry being taken forward, start writing a patent paper, a patent review paper of any subject of their choice. What you can do is, if he has completed a good review, present it in a closed door meeting with the industry. Industry is always looking for knowledge in a capsule format, but the latest knowledge, and that would help. Whatever the proceeds come from that, it should be paid. Give it to the faculty, because our faculties are underpaid in India as far as my understanding is concerned, and global benchmark is there. The third is, I think many people have suggested, 1 month internship compulsory with the industry at least once in 2 years. He has to go, he doesn't have a choice. The one point I would like to make here, and this would come to many of the academicians who are sitting here as a shock. Teaching is going to be considered as a criminal activity in the future. You need to transform your classroom from teaching to learning enablers. And if you don't do that now, because majority of the teaching is based on information delivery, and that is absolutely becoming irrelevant in the future. Now, how do I propose this should happen? Break the class into units of 5 people into a group. Tell them that next class you have to teach one particular concept. All 5 of you have to come prepared, and he can pick up randomly any one of them. So nobody knows who is going to be put on the stage. Give them 5 minutes, let them speak, let them fumble, doesn't matter. The faculty is there to correct him. But this will enable them to get the confidence of brain and ability to express. Half of the class can be routine teaching, so don't disturb that beyond it. But give a half of the class towards this kind of a, teaching by the students to the students. This would help a great deal. Coming to improving the morality, all the faculties are encouraged to stop from today. All the closed books exam, every exam has to be an open book exam only. That has to be the law. And if you really want to bring morality in India and encourage that, stop proctoring the exam. Say that you want to copy, welcome. And actually get out. This experiment has been done at Michigan University, and amazing results. 98% people do not copy, and the teacher knows who copied and who did not copy from the book. And they just call them, say that, look, you copied, no problem, but you missed an opportunity to evaluate yourself, and stop there. You will actually bring the morality in your students going out. Now, improving the students, couple of suggestions. Today, memory is something which is very important and will become further important because the amount of information which is emerging in the world is very high. There is no school in India I have ever visited which focuses on improving the memory of their students. You are getting an input where you can start using the memory improvement skills as a part of your curriculum and in everyday practice. This is going to be something which will be a very good tool for them to take from here. The second would be the vocabulary. If you today see the quality of vocabulary in the students is quite mediocre and poor. Whenever they are sitting for lunch, I am sure you have a lunch time. Give a card printed with 5 words which you think are relevant, and the guy should learn it. And at the end of the exit, you have professors standing saying that, please explain this word. Just take that card from him. So he knows that he has to learn. So some kind of a time utilization which is today wasted in talking chit-chat, in improving their vocabulary skills, and that will give a great help in the future. Because understanding without words, language is not going to be easy. The third would be that every student, by hook or crook, design your curriculum that he gets a 5-minute capability of speaking in front of the class, either through the teaching mechanism or whatever mechanism you give. Give him a topic saying that you have to speak on this topic for 5 minutes. Ability to communicate in your students can be game changer for him as the future will emerge. The last one clear suggestion is, most of our students have no clue of what they are going to do in the future. They don't think. Make everybody go through maybe a course you can create. Writing a vision document of 2050 or 30 years from now. So when the student reaches to his most productive age, he needs to understand what kind of a society is going to emerge, what kind of markets are going to emerge, what are the economic pies which will be attached to a given service or a given product, and what are the kind of products that society will aspire for, and what are the things which will be required to build those. For that he has to start his preparation from now. So everybody must write a vision document of 2050 in his own way, in various fields. It could be in pharmacy, it could be medicine, it could be in psychology, it could be in physiotherapy, it doesn't make any difference. You make him write, saying that what you want to be, and then write a vision document accordingly. And that vision document can actually create a thinking process and a document which will last for his lifetime. So I think this is the few suggestions. Thank you very much for inviting FGI, and we are happy to be supported. And one more announcement. Any faculty at Sigma, I will sponsor 2 faculties. If anybody writes a patent review, in 1 year, 1 patent review, I will personally sponsor him 1 lakh of rupees to attend exhibitions anywhere in the world. 2 faculties.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to Sigma University for this excellent arrangement. I would like to add a few points on top of it. Dr. Ranka said you should also include a lecture series from the prominent faculty. You are prominent researcher or prominent industrialist, either locally or we have plenty of universities here who are doing some good level of research, I think that will also explore, it will open up the mind of the students. Second point I would like to add, I know it's a bit, everybody does, me, you, all of us, we are too much addicted to the information through this stupidest phone, I would say, it's not a smartphone. If we can discourage our student to use of this machine, I think that would be the biggest addition we can do. Because even you, me, when we are sitting with this stupid machine, we stop thinking. And as Dr. Desai said, thinking is the key, right? Meditation, thinking, I think that's something we should, as a society, we have to encourage. Right now, a lot of debate going on in US at least, it's called detoxification from the digital, Like if you listen to the podcast from CNN by Dr. Gupta, it's very nice, and they have classes going on just to detoxify yourself. So I think we should encourage at some level that type of thinking, and that will bring a lot of good points, in the education also. And I think everything else is just a standard. Everybody talk about it, but I would like to add. So these are the few points that I would like to add. Another third point, some social service. I think that is missing in each and every university, or we should encourage our students to do some social service, through other organization or through your own initiative. Like I had an idea I would like to share. Being I'm a pharmacist also, and Dr. Montu, I know him for like almost 4-5 years, and I was a kind of continuous education. I was giving a lecture series also. And over there, I see a lot of discrepancy when you go for dispensing of the medicine. Pharmacists don't know sometimes, because in India it's a very laxity in terms of our regulatory thing. So I had that project in my mind for students in a pharmacy. You ask them to go in a city's pharmacy, just choose one topic, do your survey from your side, like what is going on in the society. Like okay, I have allergy. Can you give me a medication? And just see what type of medication getting dispensed, from the pharmacy. It will give a real-time experience to the students. It's just maybe one day fun for them also, to go maybe 100, 200 pharmacy in a Baroda and get the collected. Now you will also get that data which you can submit to, government also. And this is the kind of small research that will give a big impact in the society and kids also at the same time. I think thank you for.
So, Mr. Shetty, right?
Yeah.
So he has a unique background, right? He is a founder of Mataman, which is what? Fashion outfit, right? Yeah. So,
well, I have a unique background. I'm an engineering dropout too. And I hated exams. That's one of the reasons I dropped out. So, well, Albert Einstein once gave exam to final year students, and to students' surprise, they had the same question of the previous year. So they go to Einstein and ask him, sir, you have given the same questions as the previous year. So we all know the answer. So why did you do this? He said, no. The questions are same, answers have changed. That's how fast the science and technology is changing. If you're thinking that the previous year answer is relevant this year, it's not true. And one of the famous author, Yuval Noah Harari, once said that in the 21st century AI world, it is okay to be exploited. It is not okay to be irrelevant. So I was reading an article how the McDonald's, one of the McDonald's store in US, is completely digitized, automated, with not even a single human being in the store. Now you have a hotel management course, and you are building a restaurant manager. So you are training a restaurant manager. So by the time he goes to same McDonald's, he doesn't have a job there. So whatever the content, the learning what he is having today, and is not relevant even today sometime, correct? It's just strange, correct? And that world, which is completely driven by, as Desai is yours telling, that world is so fast catching up. So I dropped out of college. Everything I learned, I was a trader. I became an investment banker in startups. I now run a fashion company, I had no idea about jewelry manufacturing. I learned. So we pick jewelry from China, and we manufacture it from China, Thailand, everywhere. And I was a part of many of the growing startups, from Licious to one of the unicorns. So what I learned is that, in fact, interestingly, I'm also an investor in some of the Web3 companies. So you will be surprised that most of the Web3 entrepreneurs are below the age of 30. This is the 20s kids who have become the Web3 entrepreneurs, which is the new technology which is fast catching up the world, right? So I believe that, of course, there is two different things, as Mr. Desai was explaining, that one is literacy, another is education, right? So are these universities making the students literate about some things? Like, are they learning, okay, this is how TV works, this is how phone works. Are they becoming literate about the technology? Or are they being educated on certain subject, which will eventually lead them to build those technologies? There's two different things, correct? So there is, I would differentiate a learning university from a research university, correct? There's two different things, correct? So are they coming to only to learn? So it's very interesting. Two of my friends started a pizza shop. So they had no idea. Both of them were, one is an MBA graduate, one is an engineering background. So he figured out one day he was having a pizza in somewhere in Santorini. He said, these pizzas are so nice. There's no pizza, such pizza in India. So you'll be surprised. These two boys learned how to make pizza. And they made their first pizza, sourdough pizza, which they gave it to all of us. We all loved it. And today, these guys have automated a pizza company, which is now, this year they clocked a turnover of 75 crore. And they've come to sell that pizza bakery for 200 crore now. imagine, they're the most popular, it's called Pizza Bakery, most popular in Bangalore, correct? So I think it is, I always say that if I have learned something, it's only out of curiosity, nothing else. So I keep saying that if you have to understand me, you have to understand the curious case of Anil Shetty, not the Benjamin Button, because I learned everything through curiosity. Are our institutions are building such kind of a curiosity among the students is the first question to ask. And Ranka sir mentioned that let's get rid of this exams. I hated the exams. I think it was the stupidest thing one could ever get. But of course, this is the Macaulay system which wanted to produce assembly line human resource, right? So he just wanted that one. Now, unfortunately, what they used to produce, the assembly line human resource, is now changing because now there is no assembly line in terms of thinking, right? You cannot think in assembly line. So it is just assembly line. There's nothing to think. So I think the next generation of entrepreneurs, next generation for every other employee should think like an entrepreneur. Then only he'll be able to build a large business, correct? Now, I don't know anything. I didn't know anything about jewelry manufacturing. I didn't know anything about D2C business, correct? So I learned it. And today I pick and see everything what I'm wearing is the manufacturer from us. I know what stone is used here. I know how much it weighs. Why? This is just a curiosity. And I've never formally, I went to engineering college only 1.5 years and I dropped out. And even during, for 19.5 years, whatever education I got, I hardly went to school. I hardly went to the classrooms. So I hated all of that format. And there's one school which I keep following. It's called Hudson Valley School. It's a concept of unschooling, correct? So the whole thing, what we need to think is to get out of this assembly line school system and to produce the people who are just fit to do certain things. And they say, okay, you do this, and then you get this much of salary. It's like a kind of a list where if you are getting this degree, you get this salary. If you are getting this course, you are getting this salary. So we have to get out of the system. So that is, we are in the process. I think the new education system, NEP, which is the larger vision of the Prime Minister Modi, which is now pushing the universities to get out of this literacy program to an education program. So that is where the shift is happening. I am very hopeful of India's education system, which has produced some of the finest of the world leaders. In fact, some of the IITs, some of the IIMs have produced world's biggest and the tallest corporate leaders. And we are very proud of the system which has been evolving over the period of time. So, but we need to do more. We need to probably catch up with the world which is changing fast. And in fact, I am going to invest in a company, I don't want to name which is this, which is going to be this company, which I was just taking the deck because I am an investor, so I invest in startups. So they're pitching to me, this company is going to work on knowledge tourism. So this company is going to design student visits to industries, to meet entrepreneurs, to meet the labs, the different NASA, so ISRO, so everything. There's nothing in India. There's no knowledge tourism company in India. I am very excited since yesterday. I called so many of my investor friends, everybody, that let's invest in this knowledge tourism company because these guys are going to design a concept. Harsh knows the friend, so I don't want to know who, I'll tell you why. So these guys are going to design a tour where they pick up 40, 50 students and take them to meet, interact with the different thing. So they can design a science tour. So I was in Israel, I did a startup tour. So 7 days in Israel, so I did a startup tour. So I went to every startup hub, every startup office, and their manufacturing facility if they are manufacturing something, their boardroom if they are discussing something, to understand what is happening in the world. So, and also students also learn with incentives. So I think there has to be a kind of a invention award for the students. Correct? The technology innovation, that actually incentivize them. Okay, if I am winning an invention award, it could be a smallest invention, correct? So you should, I think Harsh, you should constitute an award called the Sigma Invention Award for the students, correct? You invent whatever it is. You solve a smallest of the problem. But that is what makes them think from not wanting just to be an employee who will get a salary at the end of the month, to think like an entrepreneur, think like a problem solver. So the world is changing and evolving towards people who are going to be problem solvers will be more important than people who are going to just sit and do some menial job. And to replace, so like for example, I would always say that the security who is standing and receiving us is a very menial job and nobody wants to do it. Trust me, I have spoken to hundreds of them. Nobody wants to do it. They're compelled to do it because of the financial compulsion, right? Nobody wants to do it. So eventually, somebody has to think how to replace all of them and give them some other job, and this technology has to take it up, correct? So the most of the menial and the monotonous job will be taken over by the technology, correct? And how do you accommodate these people? So one of my friend who is in Manipal group, so you must have heard about Manipal group, the Ranjan Pai. So I always talk about solving future problems. So he once also said, I'll also think about solving a present day problem. So I know you guys are very excited about Web3, the new age of artificial intelligence, everything. There are so many problems to be solved in the present, correct? So it is from present to future. You cannot go to future and come back. We go from present to future. So I think that as an academia, I go to a lot of universities because I learn, because I probably for last 2.5 hours, I sat here and I enjoyed the conversation and learned so many things. Because I believe, once Mukesh Ambani told this in an interview, he said, his best friends are his children friends. He said, when you are young, spend time with the old. When you are old, spend time with the young. That's the only way knowledge transfer happens. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. So any other speakers? Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Good afternoon to all. I am from Sheffield Technoclass and we are associated with Sigma since 9 years. Discussion is going on and the way I just talk about Shailesh Bhai, Dr. Harsh and Madam, they are very open and accept the things like what we are talking. We have submitted gap analysis before 7 years for academia and industry, and they have started doing the activity whereby Sigma has almost more than 1,000 technicians for the industry. And they have given training and industry is getting help of that. There was a Sigma Sheffield Skill Center whereby amalgamation of syllabus from industry and academia we have done. So first of all, Shailesh Bhai, congratulations, because there are very few universities who are thinking about Industry 5.0. We are just middle of 4.0 and wishing you all the best, and I request my industry colleagues that please support academia and the industry, because the things are, I am also from business, so businessmen are always talking, and the things, continuous efforts is required to support industry and academia, where frequent visit is required, frequent knowledge sharing is required. And most of the business people are busy in that activity. I am not for a big industry, I am from MSME, but I also missing many opportunity whereby my managers and team members are used to come. But frequent visit, frequent knowledge sharing is more important for academia, because I was the past president of Indian Plastic Institute. In Pan India, we have a joint activity with IIT, MIT, NIT and all other activity. But support is really required from academia, and I request all of you please at least continue put our efforts to university, whereby definitely improvement will be done. Once again, thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Prashant Kani from Sun Pharma R&D Center. So thank you everyone for sharing your thoughts, and I have been putting down putting them down and trying to bucket them into what are the challenges that we are finally talking about. Okay. So one thing that comes out very clearly is that the academia and industry do not understand the language of each other. There seems to be a communication gap between starting from even terminologies that are being used by the industry and the academia to understanding how we need to communicate to each other. Second is I see a misalignment of goals and objectives. So while we all spoke about needing thinkers, needing problem solvers, the academia is talking about bringing out so many B farms, M farms, etc. So there seems to be a difference in what the goals and objectives are. We both have resource limitations, and that is happening because the resources that we are having are probably not being deployed to the required areas, both in the industry as well as in the academia. So that also came out again. Then the pace of working is another challenge. So while industry is trying to work at a very, very fast pace, the academia is very slow. And we spoke about faculty development programs, we spoke about, Tanka sir spoke about 1 month of internship, and I would like to share that as part of CII academic panel, we had made this faculty development program free, open to faculties across universities around Baroda, where they could come to Sun Pharma R&D Center, pick up a project, or rather we will give them a project, and they can spend about a month over a period of six months or a year on those projects. The objective was that they will learn the newer techniques, they will see the equipment that we are using, etc., etc. But it didn't, no faculty was willing to take it up. So we don't have a single person who has completed that program so far. So the resources, like I said, are being deployed, but they are not deployed where they need to be deployed. The organization structure and the culture is different between industry and academia, right? And that is also causing a challenge because it is more hierarchical in the industry. In academia, it is even more hierarchical or bureaucratic, and therefore the decision making is slow. By the time the industry has a problem and it comes to the academia for solving that problem, the time it takes for it to be solved is too long. The industry loses its interest and goes away. And finally, there are very limited collaboration frameworks which are available today, which are sustainable or are getting sustained. He spoke about a framework where they have started a technical skill center, which is working. That is one kind of a framework. What other frameworks are we having? This meeting that we are having today is also one of the frameworks that can be deployed further, but it needs to be consistent. That engagement needs to be more consistent for us to succeed. And finally, there is another challenge between industry and academia, and that is related to the intellectual property and confidentiality. Because I come from an R&D center and a lot of work that we do is confidential, there needs to be a proper framework available by which if there is new inventions, like one of our startup colleagues said, if a new invention is to be brought out, who owns that invention kind of a framework needs to be in place so that people don't have issues about opening up and working together. These are few challenges that I noted down when people were speaking. Lot of my colleagues here have given solutions which are very workable, and I think those are the things that we need to continue to explore and deploy. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Sure. Just a minute. Hello.
Yeah, please. Sorry.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Myself, MD Patel. I am President, Vadodara Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you for the inviting us to. Thank you to Sigma University inviting us for high-level roundtable deliberation on Industry 5 and role of universities. Because Vadodara Chamber of Commerce and Industry is almost 55 years old industry, mainly representing MSMEs. And we have a a lot of interactions and collaboration with the universities also. And we have a, MOU with iHub for the, development and skill development, innovation for that. And we are doing the pitching also. So, and also particularly with collaborating with the industry, we invite the, list of the students who want to do internship. And we have more than 2,200 industry members in our industry. And one thing is very clear that the best things to learn is a small MSME because they will get lot of industry experience, not only single, means all the things they get from the small companies. They have to learn lot of things. So I will not take much of the time, but I also request we can, Vadodara Chamber of Commerce and Industry can also collaborate with universities where student placement and training program also can be conducted jointly because we are also organizing regularly some seminars also because recently we have organized one semiconductor policy related program because nowadays, more than 30 billion investment is coming in Dholera. And semiconductor is a very, at present very vital and all people are talking about. For that we need talent and from where talent will come. I think university has a very vital role to generate that talent. In fact, we have invited Mr. Khare, who is a GSM MD, and he gave in detail what is semiconductor, what is the design parameters. And, a lot of talents would be required to do that thing. So this type of activities, Vadodara Chamber of Commerce and Industry doing. So definitely we will be helpful to do the enhancement of the students' knowledge and training also. Thank you.
So last comment from you. Yeah.
Yeah, friends, actually this 5.0 requires complete paradigm shift, which I learned from all my friends here. I'm associated with Gujarat Chemicals since last 7 years. I basically in the manufacturing excellence. We come across various interviews of the people who come out from the colleges, 2-3 years experience after college, they came. And whenever we ask during interview and all, they have a kind of we ask them, what you want to become, what would like to follow. No, I want to become manager, I want to learn, I want to become assistant manager, I want to be very close to within my vicinity of this company so that I can take care of my parents, my sisters, my brothers. I am from poor family of farmer, so I wanted to have my all dependents to be survival. So there are different things which are coming. So I would like to connect as an industrial accountable person here. There should be a paradigm shift to meet 5.0. There should be a meet 5I inputs to achieve 5.0. One is a student paradigm shift change. The industrial paradigm shift, how to make a convergence of that, we will see. Number third is a government regulations, like what sir has explained, what pharmacy experts have explained. Then university faculties, and last but not the least, the human resource, the infrastructure, the facilities, the remuneration to be given to the students and the faculties and the industrial people who are interacting with the universities. So last 2 days I have done one survey which I would like to be a part of the Harsh which he has taken this big initiative. We talked to 50 supply chain vendors who are attached to the JFL, who makes kind of a different equipments who gives us so that we can do a lot of unit operation, unit processes in our industry. So there are almost 80,000 industries here in the Gujarat. Forget about Mumbai and all other things. So if you see the average manufacturing yield in sectors, the efficiencies is 65%. The 35% goes west. That is in 16 different losses. So there is a big challenge. Being a manufacturing sector, why the China as a global leader, why India is pursuing right now? Because we are identifying what are the 16 bigger losses in our manufacturing sector, in our supply chain sector. So these students has to be thrown this challenge when he joins this university. Would like to ask his aspiration first. What is his strength? What is his skill? We have to identify. Because there are many students which have good skills, but they do not disclose because they are under tremendous pressure. Because parent ask him about job, to engineer ban ke aaja. Job, I want you to be the best pharmacist. But what is his aspiration? What he want to be a for? So we would like to align industry to the university so that we can start his basic fundamental from the university itself, and the industry should adapt and adaptation both from the beginning of the educational of that particular student from the university. So that is one thing which I would like to share. And number second is a synergy. So we have been, I am going to talk to Harsh again. There are 50 students will be requiring for a different unit operations which has been working there in the operation. So almost 60 students will be required in the next month, so that we will have with the GFL. We can see the model plant of the GFL which we are going to make now. Thank you.
I think before I hand over to her, I think we have a doctor. And Dr. Sheshal Sal is endospine expert.
Hello everyone, I think I'm the odd one out here. I'm Dr. Sheshal, I'm a spine surgeon. I just wanted to share a couple of thoughts that I'm a thinker of old school. I think we've been talking about research advances and all those things. But I think the things to be inculcated in a student is more of discipline, morale, and ethics, I think, which is generally throughout the course. I mean, day by day, it's not overnight. Just dropping out of the schools and all those things, those talented people can do out-of-the-box thinking, but these gifted people are very few. There are Messis and the Ronaldos, I think. We all know Messi is a gifted person, gifted soccer player. But Ronaldo is one from whom we can catch discipline, ethics, morale. Similarly, Federer and Nadal. Similarly, Sachin and Kohli. I think gifted people are very few. The researchers should be only 10%. The 90% of the people should be disciplined, morale. Because out of the college, discipline and morale, these two things, ethics, are the few things which we need to have it throughout. There has to be a baseline that the students don't get carried away. Yes, we are talking about the mobile phones, but we all know that we cannot get away from that. Only discipline and morale can tell us that we can only see what we want from this. Thank you.
We have Mr. Balaji from Rishabh Software. Yeah.
Hi, I think almost everyone have spoken. I was here, I was full of the research papers and things. I have about 30 pages of the questions, whatever you asked, and I prepared and came. But after come here, listening to all veterans, now I'm changing the entire thing. So maybe a closing remark towards the thing. So now as college dropouts, as we have a status quo here, so my shift towards it, so Rishabh Software has been doing faculty development program. So anytime you want to send the faculties, send us. We take care of it. Second, any students you are not able to place outside, we have only taking those people who have not been bright in the colleges, and we teach them, and then we make them job ready. That's what we have been doing for the last 10 years, and we are very successful. Third, from the other side of it, I don't know, I somehow feel that I don't have any complaints towards academia. I don't see any gaps at all, because what I have been hearing 40 years ago, like when we were recruited, I'm sure our managers must have spoken that we have a gap. When we joined as a job somewhere as a trainee fresher, I think the dialogue has been happening. There is no industry left. Somebody spoken about Gen X want ownership or whatever. There is nothing. I think somewhere I believe, even in India today, the first time from a family students are coming to a college, I think definitely we need to worry about their job. Somebody was speaking about we don't need to worry about their job. I think we should. We should worry about their job. We should tell them how they can get a right job. They don't need to be a slave. How they can still enjoy their journey and progress. I think we need to still teach people. There is a hope when the generation comes. There's a first generation coming out of family below poverty line. Still, even industry 5.0, we are still talking about a minimum wage, and there is a debate. And फिर भी कोरोना के टाइम पे काम वाली बहन घर पे जब नहीं आए, people have not paid them. That is the reality. And we are talking about industry 5.0. So this paradigm shift has to change somewhere. I think from our side, everybody needs to talk what they can do to the society. So from that perspective, my humble request is to the colleges, to academia, do not send free your students to any industry for internship. Have a healthy attitude to charge the companies. Do not give your students for a free internship. I think if at all they can do freely, they should go to each and every public sector, government. They should do a research and they should produce. Even today, Industry 5.0, septic tank is cleaned by a human. There is no machine is bought where we have an opportunity where humans are still cleaning the septic tanks. Nobody is talking about it, even Industry 5.0. So that's where I want to stand, that the universities like you can come forward, tell people to be, that's okay to get failure, embrace failure. Somehow lazy work taught to be a smart work in today's world. I think we need to continue to tell our children that there is appreciation for hard work also. That's okay to get failed. That's okay. Machines are going to replace you. I'm sure you will find a job. So some dialogue is required, while the other 10% of the people keep going towards investing and entrepreneurship and other things. I think the 90% of people have to be worried. Together, all of us, if at all, contribute to that change by telling people they can do a better job. I think that's what I want to have a submission to Industry 5.0.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, on behalf of the
very good noon, all of you. Today in this session, being as a university, we come across very different viewpoints, right? And very vital important from the real stakeholders who will be going to absorb our product, actually our students. So this session will be very useful for us. One thing I will to just admit that we are trying to adopt many of the ideas with the limited resources. See, to implement everything, we need to have huge setup of infrastructure and resources, which will be sometimes not possible with private personal institutions. So sometimes you find we are getting ideas from you, but we are not implementing there in our university. And sometimes you find disappointment. I humbly request you to don't disappoint. We will try our level best and we try really hard to implement your ideas into our system. And we will ensure upon the availability of the resources, we'll be definitely going to implement the idea which we are not taking up immediately, but we ensure you that all the ideas and vital important inputs from your side, we will be taking up for the future. Thank you one and all.
Wind up now? Yeah. Yeah. So on behalf of the university and on my personal behalf, I thank you all for being part of this, and big thanks to Sri Hari Bhakti. Right? And I will now hand over to the anchor for the rest of the proceedings.
Good afternoon, everyone.
So, as we witnessed that we had a very fruitful discussion over the roundtable deliberations. And for that, I would like to thank Professor Shailesh Gandhi for graciously accepting the role of moderator and lending your expertise to facilitate this enriching dialogue. And it is with great honor and reverence that I introduce our esteemed patron,
Shri Shailesh Bhai Shah has been the dynamic energy behind the success and growth of Sigma University. I request him to briefly share his feelings with all of us about this great event.
गुड आफ्टरनून मॉर्निंग से आफ्टरनून हो गया यही आप लोगों के बीच बैठ के सुन के समझ के कंफ्यूजन भी हो गया और एक्साइटेड भी हो गया हूँ आई वेलकम यू ऑल द डिग्निटरीज फ्रॉम द वेरियस डिसिप्लिन्स एंड ऑफ वेरियस एज ग्रुप इवन वाई इज स्पेसिफिकली से वेरियस एज ग्रुप because I understood that going through the introduction of all the dignitaries, I have found that almost everyone are highly educated and have their own industry set up or maybe right on the top of that industries by any way. और एकेडमी में सर ने बताया जैसे देसाई साहब ने बताया I totally agree with him with the depressions and think of development how to go through since very long. आपकी बातों से सर मैं बहुत ही सहमत हूँ and that is the same thing that what I am happening every time I'm telling to all my lectures everybody. But unfortunately I couldn't find out the way out that how to go for that. Now here is a way with me while we are sitting in presence of various disciplines, industries, pharmacy industries, then engineering industries, chemical industries, and academia too. So there is a combination of all the industries, and your lecture or your suggestion is suggested to me that why education is on the lower side rather. The reason is because in early ages, all the dignitaries on my age would agree that all the industries, the millionaires were putting on floor by bringing the industry, these machineries from the foreign countries. What I learned that I was serving in the New Shorak Nadiad, all time I've seen that SLM Maneklal, Team Maneklal, and all the big industries were bringing the machineries from the foreign countries. And so this has make our mind idle rather not to think anything. While I put myself or education era, and during the industries, as everyone has said, that one has to go for industries for 1 month, or at least during the education. But in that vacation, I was on school study. I had no way to spend my time because all my colleagues were going to their factories, small scale industries. So I was compelled for that. On those days, I remember, सीधा से एक बॉबिन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी में मैं एट द रेट ऑफ 1 रुपी जा रहा था, तब मुझे मालूम पड़ा कि हाथ में छाले पड़ रहे थे, कुछ भी दिमाग में आता नहीं था दैट दिस इज द वे दैट अब इंडस्ट्रीज आर गोइंग टू डेवलप्ड. पर चलते 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 जैसे कि सब बिग इंडस्ट्रीज डेवलप देमसेल्व्स एंड नाउ दे आर सजेस्टिंग कि देयर शुड बी कोलैबोरेशन बिटवीन इंडस्ट्रीज एंड एकेडमिक. आई थिंक it would have been earlier thought out. Then I say that we may be earlier, 10 years earlier on the development side for all these streams, rather technological, then this artificial intelligence and all that. Anyway, we are never late on that point. But while I have all with you, and as everything in summary, I understand that we are the first rather to make such type of the seminars, roundtable conference, to make happy to industries and industries and institution, and this this award goes to Dr. Harsh Shah and Dr. Saurabh Shah, who is my cousin rather, and they have just conducted these things. At the same time, I invite all of you, almost I have read from your mind that everyone wants to go for somewhere, anywhere, for the collaboration with the industrial institutes. So we will make the arrangement, and we request you all that whosoever wants to go for collaboration of making a change in the industries and making a synchronization of industries and institution, that is only the way out. Once the synchronization of industries and institutes is not there, there is nothing to go develop or thing. And that is what the brief way I understand now. And let us start from the immediate action. कभी हम दूर नहीं और कभी हम पीछे नहीं है, ऐसा समझ करके we can start from now. And I would suggest Dr. Harsh, Dr. Jigar Patel, Dr. Saurabh to put such meeting for the collaborations and the way to path it out, so that how we can start it. Because आप मेरी लैंग्वेज से समझ सकते हो, मेरी बातों से समझ सकते हो, कौन सी चीज़ मैं आपके सामने पहले दूं, कौन सी चीज़ मैं बाद में दूं, वो कंफ्यूजन मेरे में जो चल रहा है, वो कंफ्यूजन इज योर आइडिया. That training program for the faculty development, personality development and everything. I say, if by experience I am there to say something, but आपकी जो सोच है उस तरह से अगर हमको वो जो ट्रेनिंग मिल जाता था, तो I would have put my words in a better way than what I am now putting. This is only the experience that I am putting and sharing with you. So let us start with it. अगर हमारे साथ में ऐसे academicians है जो IIM में है, और शैलेश भाई, माई सेम नेम, तो दोनों में अच्छाई तो होगी, एक सरीखी लग रही है. तो शैलेश जितने भी है इधर, मैं समझता हूँ मेरे लेवल के, उनके लेवल का मैं हूँ, ऐसा लग रहा है मुझे. तो शैलेश भाई भी जो यहाँ पर है, तो लग रहा है कि ऐसा अगर कॉन्फ्रेंसिस नेक्स्ट में आपकी कन्वीनियंसी से, और डॉक्टर हर्ष अगर मैनेज करते हैं, डॉक्टर जिगर और ये सौरभ जी कर मैनेज करेंगे, तो मैं लगता हूँ इससे आगे एक स्टेप बढ़ कर के कुछ हमें कर पाएंगे. दैट इज व्हाट माय बिलीफ इज. थैंक यू वेरी मच टू ऑल, वन एंड ऑल. थैंक यू वेरी मच वंस अगेन.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thoughts with us. As we approach the culmination of this event, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Shreya Shah, Vice President, Sigma University. Dr. Shreya Shah has been an instrumental force in driving innovation and fostering academic excellence within our institution. Her dedication to empowering students, fostering industry-academia collaboration, and shaping the future of education is truly commendable. We eagerly await the reflections and guidance as we draw this deliberation to a close. I welcome Dr. Shreya Shah, Vice President, Sigma University, as she shares her concluding remarks.
Thank you for the introduction, Irfat ma'am. As we come to the end of this high-level roundtable conference on Industry 5.0, I would like to take a moment to reflect the insightful discussions that we had in these few hours. We gathered here with the shared objective, that is to explore role of universities and importance of collaboration between industry and academia in shaping the future of education and industry both. So throughout the event, we have discussed few key objectives, one of which was skill development. So we recognize that we need to identify essential competencies required for the transition to Industry 5.0. Our aim was to ensure that our workforce is equipped with necessary skills and knowledge and thrive towards the future. The discussion surrounding these objectives was shed light on how universities can align their programs to develop skills in students, preparing them for challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Another crucial objective that we discussed was symbiotic partnership between industry and academia. We recognize immense potential in the collaboration and benefits it can bring to both sectors. By working together, we can achieve industry-relevant research, facilitate internship, knowledge exchange, encourage innovations. During this conversion, in the conference, we highlighted the importance of establishing meaningful connection that support needs of both industry and academia, creating a win-win situation for both of us. Moreover, we have witnessed the power of collaboration throughout the success stories and examples shared by the participants. Joint initiatives between industry and the university have resulted in enhanced research and development, technology transfer, talent acquisitions, improved employability. So these real-world examples have showcased the tangible benefits that arises from the effective partnership. Moreover, there were also some challenges discussed. So those challenges like IP, sir mentioned about intellectual property rights, funding, mechanism, cultural difference among the obstacles discussed during the event. Recognizing these challenges is because we are recognizing it's the first steps towards finding the solution. We also discussed some of the solutions through open and constructive dialogue. We have worked towards identifying best practices and strategies to overcome these hurdles. It is through collective effort that we can navigate these challenges and create an environment conducive to collaboration. Lastly, we emphasize significant impact of industry-university partnership. Collaborative efforts have potential to create innovative ecosystem, generate employability, drive economic growth, positive economic outcomes resulting from effective partnership. Also, we must continue to nurture and strengthen this partnership to maximize their impact. So in conclusion, the high-level roundtable conference on Industry 5.0 and the role of university has been a very enriching experience. I am sure it is for all of us. And we have achieved all these objectives nicely, briefly, in a very short span, but discussed nicely. So I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the participants for their active engagement, insightful contribution, and few of them also committed and shared their vision. So thank you very much. I cannot forget Mr. Saurabh Shah, CEO, Universal Business and Corporate Service Center, who is the brain behind initiating such Industry 5.0 conference. So thank you, Saurabh bhai. Also, all our live viewers who are currently witnessing this event, there are many students who are currently witnessing this event. So thank you all the viewers. Together we can create future where industry and academia work hand in hand, driving innovation, nurturing talent, and shaping the world of Industry 5.0. As we all know, Sigma University has just recognized as Sigma University in this year to 2023. And this is one of the biggest first event which we have conducted, and we make sure and we mark this as the first but not the last. Every few months, I would not commit right now how many, but few months we will be having such continuous exchange of dialogues between industry and academia, and we will try and implement all the possible outcomes out of it.
So, sorry, 1 minute. So, on this day of 2nd June 2023, Sigma University wants it to be marked as the academia launch of Sigma Universities. From now onwards, we will be launching our curriculums, which, with your support, we were able to revise and improvise, and we will make sure that students get the maximum practical benefits out of it. So 2nd June will be a memorable day for Sigma University as a launch of academic of Sigma University. Thank you very much for being part of such a great memory and creating the first step of Sigma University towards the success and building a nation from the nation builders of today for the nation builders of tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Harsha and Dr. Shreya Shah, for your informative concluding remarks, and your perspective added immense value to our discussion today. And at this juncture, it gives me immense pleasure to announce the felicitation of our esteemed guests who have graced this event with their presence, and the dedication, expertise, and significant contribution to the respective industries inspire us all. So we can start with the felicitation now. I request Dr. Priyesh Gandhi, Provost, Sigma University, to felicitate Shri Shailesh Bhai Shah, Patron, Sigma University. Next, I request Mr. Priyank Patel, Registrar, Sigma University, to felicitate Srimati Jyotsna Ben Shah, Principal Advisor, Sigma University. Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Poongrandan Paranthaman, Controller of Examination, Sigma University, to felicitate Dr. Jigar Patel, Managing Director, Sigma University. Thank you, sir. Next, I request Shri Shailesh Bhai Shah, Patron, Sigma University, to felicitate our today's moderator, Professor Shailesh Gandhi, Pro-Chancellor, IILM University, Gurugram, and former Dean Programs, IIM Ahmedabad. Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Harsh Shah, President, Sigma University, to felicitate Dr. Atul Gupta, Chief Executive Officer, PI Industries Limited. Next, Dr. Harsh Shah, President, Sigma University, will felicitate Sheshav Shah, Director, Endospine Clinic. Mr. Kshitij Patel, Chairperson, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, Gujarat. Mr. B.G. Barve, Joint Managing Director, Blue Cross Laboratories Private Limited. Mr. Anil Kalarikar, COO, Gujarat Fluorochemicals Limited. Thank you, Dr. Harsh Shah. I would like to request Dr. Shreya Shah, Vice President, Sigma University, to felicitate Mr. Bharat Desai, Director, Bharat Parentals Limited. Mr. Ajay Dubey, Vice President, GIS and Pass Factory Head, Hitachi Energy Limited. Mr. Pratap Singh Desai, President, ISTE, New Delhi. Mr. Rakesh Shah, Managing Director, Fairmate Chemicals Private Limited. Thank you, Dr. Shreya Shah. Next, I would request Dr. Jigar Patel, Managing Director, Sigma University, to felicitate Mr. Raghavendra Deshpande, Vice President, Engineering, Columbia Machine Engineering Private Limited. Mr. M.D. Patel, President, Vadodara Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Mr. Anil Shetty. Mr. Anil Shetty, founder, MetaMan. Mr. Balaji K.S., Senior Vice President, Rishabh Software, Vadodara. Dr. Anusha Kaisarkar Gavankar, Senior Fellow, Center of Economy and Growth, Observer Research Foundation. Mr. Saurabh Shah, CEO, Universal Business and Corporate Service Center, Member of National Executive Council, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Dr. Jigar Patel, sir. Now I request Dr. Priyesh Gandhi, Provost, Sigma University, to felicitate Dr. Ryan Pereira, Regional Officer, United States India Educational Foundation, Fulbright Commission in India. Mr. Midun Pingley, Senior Director and Head of Corporate Marketing, ABM CSR and PR, Signity Technologies, Madhapur, Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, India. Dr. Montu Patel, President, Pharmacy Council of India. Mr. Darshan Singh Solunki, Director, Sheffield Technoplast Private Limited. Mr. Prashant Kane, Senior Vice President, R&D, PMO MSTG, Site Head, Sun Pharma. Thank you, Dr. Priyesh Gandhi. Now I request Dr. Harsh Shah, President, Sigma University, to felicitate Dr. Atul Gupta, Chief Executive Officer, PI Industries Limited. Done? Okay, done. Sorry, I'm repeating this. Yeah. Okay, now, by mistake, I announced the name wrongly. That was Dr. Prashant Kane. I announced Mr. Prashant Kane. I'm so sorry for that. My apologies for that. Okay, so now it's time to felicitate our esteemed President and Vice President, Sigma University, Dr. Harsh Shah and Dr. Shreya Shah. So I would request Mr. Dhaval Gaud, Chief Marketing and Admission Officer, to felicitate Dr. Shreya Shah. Mr. Harshant Patel, Chief Finance and Account Officer, to felicitate Dr. Harsh Shah, President, Sigma University. Saurabh Sakar. As we felicitated all the guests present here, I would request Dr. Saurabh Shah to accept the memento on behalf of Mr. Shailesh Haribhakti, who is not present here. And I would request Dr. Priyesh Gandhi, Provost, Sigma University. So let's applaud their remarkable achievements and express our gratitude, their invaluable contributions towards this event. This is for every one of us. And so before we conclude, I would like to welcome Dr. Priyesh Gandhi, Provost, Sigma University, for sharing vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, namaste, distinguished guests, esteemed participants, and all who have contributed to the success of this event. I stand before you today as the Provost of Sigma University to express my heartfelt gratitude and extend a sincere vote of thanks. The Roundtable Deliberation on Industry 5.0 and role of universities have been exceptional gathering of brilliant minds and insightful discussion. We are immensely grateful to everyone who have made this event possible. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest appreciation to all the eminent industrialists, educationalists, professionals and regulatory bodies who have graced us with their presence and shared their invaluable insights. Your expertise and perspectives have enriched our understanding of Industry 5.0, and we are immensely grateful for your precious time and contribution. I extend my sincere thanks to Mr. Rakesh Shah, Managing Director, Fairmate Chemicals Private Limited, Mr. Anil Killarikar, CEO of Gujarat Fluorochemical Limited, Mr. Darshan Singh Solanki, Director, Sheffield Technoplast Private Limited, Mr. Raghavendra Deshpande, Vice President Engineering, Columbia Machine Engineering Private Limited, Dr. Atul Gupta, Chief Executive Officer, PI Industries Limited, Dr. Pinakin Patel, Managing Director, Bills Biotech Private Limited, Mr. Shailesh Haribhakti, Chairman, Shailesh Haribhakti and Associate, and Non-Executive Chairman, Blue Star Limited, Mr. Kshitij Patel, Chairperson, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, Gujarat, Mr. Balaji KS, Senior Vice President, Rishabh Software, Vadodara, Dr. Anusha, Senior Fellow, Center for Economy and Growth, Observer Research Foundation, Dr. Mantu Patel, President of Pharmacy Council of India, Mr. Ajay Dubey, Vice President, GIS, Pass Factory Head, Hitachi Energy Limited, Dr. Ryan Pereira, Regional Officer, United States India Educational Foundation, Fulbright Commission in India, Dr. Ajay Ranka, Chairman and Managing Director, Zydex Group, Mr. Bharat Desai, Director, Bharat Parental Limited, Mr. Midun, Senior Director and Head of Corporate Marketing, Engineering Technologies, Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, Dr. Pratap Singh Desai, President, IST New Delhi, Mr. B.G. Barve, Joint Managing Director, Blue Cross Laboratories Private Limited, Dr. Prasad Kane, Senior Vice President, R&D and Site Head, Sun Pharma, Dr. Sheshav Shah, Director, Endospine Clinic, Mr. M.D. Patel, President, Vadodara Chamber of Commerce and Industries, Mr. Anil Shetty, Founder, Metaman, Mr. Saurabh Shah, CEO, Universal Business and Corporate Service Center, Mumbai, and the member of National Executive Council, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. We are grateful for your presence and knowledge that you have shared with us. So I am deeply expressing my gratitude and sincere thanks on behalf of the university and each and every staff members and students. I would like to extend our sincere thanks to Professor Shailesh Gandhi, Pro-Chancellor, IILM, University Gurgaon, and former Dean Programs, IIM Ahmedabad, for accepting our invitation and moderating the entire event remarkably. So thank you, sir, for your kind help. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the leadership of Sigma University for their unwavering support and guidance. Special thanks to Sri Shailesh Bhai Shah, our esteemed patron, Dr. Harsha, President of the University, Dr. Shreya Shah, Vice President, Srimati Jyotsna Ben Shah, our mentor and Principal Advisor, Dr. Jigar Patel, Managing Director, and Mr. Kaushal Kothari, Director, Legal. Your vision and dedication have been instrumental in making this event a resounding success. So thank you, the leadership of the Sigma University. Our heartfelt appreciation extend to our sponsors, particularly our networking partner, Who iCard. Your support has been invaluable in facilitating the meaningful connection and fostering the collaboration. I would like to acknowledge and thank all the officers of the universities, Dean of the Constitute Institutes, staff members of the all Constitute Institute. Your hard work and dedication have ensured the smooth organization and execution of this event. A special mention goes to the faculty and students of the Faculty of Hospitality and Tourism for their contribution and support throughout this event. We are grateful for your involvement and commitment. I would like to extend my gratitude to the support staff, technical staff, audiovisual support team led by Mr. Anand Shah and the team of interns who have played a crucial role behind the scenes. Your efforts have been pivotal in creating a seamless experience for all participants. Last but not least, I extend my thanks to the anchor, students, media house who have contributed to the event's coverage and the promotion. Your involvement has helped us reach a wider audience and amplify the impactness of our discussion. In conclusion, I express my deepest appreciation to each and every one of you who have directly or indirectly contributed to the success of this event. Your presence, insights, and the support have made this gathering truly a grand success. Thank you all once again for your valuable contribution, and we look forward to continue the collaboration and fruitful participation in future. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir. I request everyone to rise for the national anthem.
Thank you, everyone. So, lastly, I invite all the participants to join us for networking lunch session where you can contribute, where you can continue to exchange the ideas and establish meaningful connections with the fellow industry leaders, academic professionals, and students. And before that, I request everyone to have the photograph, the group photograph. We already have the setup outside. And one more event we have, that will be the inauguration of e-bikes by our patron, Shri Shailesh Bhai Shah, Srimati Jyosna Ben Shah, and Mr. Saurabh Shah. Thank you, everyone. Later, we will have the media, we have to go for media interaction as well. Yeah, after lunch, okay, we can go for media interaction. And thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day.